I'm here. I'm here. I had to do it 5 to 4. Sorry, Dupes. Just had more intimidating messages from Ricky Mule. Good afternoon. Time for the review. Remember, guys, do not keep putting messages in because you're not intimidating me. Hello, Ricky Mule. I do hope you enjoyed the fireworks on Bognor Pier. So I'll just wait for Jupiter to come. Or the building. Go on then, Jupiter, you're moaning at me. I'm here now. Yeah, we did. And I'm back on there. I'm here. Big up, Kirby. Big up. Come on, Jupiter, you're late. God, ladies are always late on here. Big up, Kurt. How you doing, mate? Lovely day today, isn't it? Boy, Kermit. Just had a look at my premiere. Just had another intimidating message from Ricky Mule. Mule. Hey, hello, Hevan. Hevan, if you want to be part of the panel, mate, hit the link, me old mate. We're doing the review. Afternoon, Galaxy. Nice to see you. I'm just waiting for Jupiter. She's a bit late. Yeah. Apparently he's at the fireworks tonight at Ogden Pier. Ooh. I thought he was a millionaire. I thought he would be abroad, to be fair. Just waiting for a few people to come. My fault, I did chop and change. Yeah, we're going to do this review. It was my fault. I did change the time, did I opt it back again. Pick up 12. $13. I wish I could do it on my main channel. Anyway, I would like to say to everybody on there, thank you for your support and everything. YouTube just gave me a new achievement of viewers. So, thank you for your support and watching. Why is he researching them? Hope you enjoyed my preview just a minute ago. Yeah. Jupiter, are you there? So I hope the stream don't go down because of this. I'm sure I'll be striked, but hey ho. Come, Jupiter, you're late. Yeah, we are. AV, pick up AV. Just let him get on with it. So I hope how are you all doing? All good? It is my fault. A little bit. Can anybody get out to Jupiter at all, please? Are we? Yeah, she is, because I changed the time I did, because I didn't think I was going to be on time. And then she said to me, come on, you said 3 o'clock, so I came on at 3:10. Yeah, she was in the comments earlier.
What are you fucking moaning about? You're the one who fucked everything up.
I know. No, I had to go somewhere. I didn't think I was going to get back on time. That's why.
No, you were laying in the garden sunbathing and you couldn't be asked.
Yeah, I'm right, yeah.
That's
I
what
must
it
admit, a banging headache this morning. But yeah,
Right,
what was I going to say?
you're feeling guilty.
No, I'm not feeling guilty. No apologies given. I've had it for 3 years.
I see Danny Oakes Jones and all that lot over there talking a load of a heap of bollocks.
Yeah, well, let him. If you want to carry on with it, I'll just. What was it? I just had more intimidating messages from Ricky Millwall.
What's it got to do with him?
He goes, I'm at Bognor Pier for the fireworks. He put up a live stream the other day saying he was in Bognor Regis. And what do you want me to do?
Shit?
Well, what am I supposed to do? Shit myself? Fucking hell.
I don't believe they're in Bognor Regis. I don't believe they're anywhere.
I don't care if he does.
They're sitting on their fat asses in their front room bitching about people. That's what they do. Anyway, are we going to get on with this thing or not?
Yeah, is Moon coming?
Where's Moon then? I thought Moon was coming.
Yeah, she most probably will be. We'll give her 5 minutes.
Alright, let's wait for Moon then. I'm tired already.
Yeah. I think that's Moon. Hang on.
Is she here?
Not Brian. Who's not Brian? Hang on, let me put the cover over.
Alright.
Fucking, I wish she'd just come with the original
Moon's
name.
here in the chat. She needs a link.
Oh, okay. Can you bear with me, Moon? Hang on. Hello?
What? Hello.
Is he still there?
I ain't got a clue. You got screen on.
Oh, can't you see? All right, let's have a look. Speak, otherwise I'll kick you off. Okay, I'll kick you off. If you don't come on with your original names, don't get let on.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Testing. Are my headphones working?
Take down the thing,
palaver.
easy.
Yeah, right. Heathen, if you want to come on, mate, come on. If you want.
Is Heathen here?
He was earlier. Right, shall we get this started then?
Yeah. What one do you want me to play it from?
If you cut out the, if we go straight into the beginning, but leave the the title headlines sort of thing, when he does the leading up, so where he actually starts.
Where he starts in the school?
Yeah, the very first scene, please. Yeah.
All right, I'll do it from Mice Media then, yeah?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Mice Media, ready to share?
Okay, I'm just waiting for it to come up. And does it come up?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm pressing it. Oh, it's up there.
Yeah. A documentary about how an everyday playground incident between two young lads was spun into global news at a terrible cost to so many people, not least the two young lads themselves. We will show how the law is being abused, how people driven by hateful ideologies attempt to intimidate and silence anyone who dares to challenge the so-called progressive, so-called liberal narrative. We will show the foolishness of our fear-driven political leaders who jumped on a story, took a side without knowing the truth. Or worse still, knowing it but hiding it, because the truth didn't fit their narrative, regardless of the human cost. And we'll ask 3 important questions. Firstly, is the media accountable to anyone in any way for what they report? Years after the Leveson inquiry, has anything changed, or do they continue to act with impunity? Secondly, is our legal system still fit for purpose? We will show how lawyers who hate Britain but love jihadi warriors have weaponised the law system against us, and how the legal system really only works for the rich. And finally, how do we keep our politicians accountable? If the police, the courts and the state can silence anyone for speaking inconvenient truths that may raise questions about government policy, is the UK any different from China, Russia or Iran in their treatment of dissidents? And of course, for Piers Morgan, for Jeremy Vine, for the BBC, ITV and Channel 4, it's a tutorial on journalism. Keep watching it, you'll learn a lot. Our story appears to start and end in a brief playground incident at Almondbury Community School in Huddersfield. A playground scuffle. One boy poured a bottle of water on another child. The school dealt with it, and that should have been that. 3 weeks later, however, a video clip of the incident surfaced, and within hours, with the help of lawyers and the ignorant rantings of ITV's Piers Morgan and the BBC's Jeremy Vine, it was made into global news event. And the lives of so many people were turned upside down. Such playground incidents happen every day. So why was this spat between 2 boys transformed into global news? Well, one of the boys was white and the other a Syrian refugee. At which point the truth of the matter was buried beneath an avalanche of agendas and opportunism. Within hours, the Race Hate Brigade was sharpening their blades.
Clearly, when somebody comes from Syria, fleeing Assad's regime, coming to a place like this, when they get treated that way, that's an issue. And the whole world is looking at us.
Where are we? We're in Almonbury. Do I say the scene of the incident? Is it a scene in? Is the incident? It's the scene of the Great Lie. I call it the Great Lie because this lie was pushed around the globe. Yeah. This here is the school where the world was told a Syrian refugee was waterboarded by a racist English bully. I was in a playing field here, and do you know what? This is the first time I've been here because when this blew up on the news, it's a child's school. Kids are in school. I didn't come outside here. You'd see the scenes outside here where the imam was here with mobs of men, yeah, mobs of Muslim men. Extremists travelled up from London, such as Ali Dawah, to cause a scene outside this kids' school. Anyway, but I'm here. Why am I here? I'm here because I face a court case. I'm being prosecuted. It's gone to the High Court, and I have to prove. I made a video stating that it was a lie, stating that Jamal wasn't innocent, and telling some facts about Jamal beating up girls, an instance that I'd been warned about by the members of this community to tell the truth about what happened at this school. I've got to prove it in court. So I've come to Huddersfield. I'm now going to knock. I need to find witnesses. I've got addresses for many. I need to knock and talk to them and see who I can get to come to court to help me prove to you, the public. This is about as much as proving in court as proving to you, the British public, that I was the only journalist in the country who told the truth about what happened in this community. The story you were told. You were told that a vulnerable Syrian child refugee had been bullied and waterboarded by a nasty white boy. You were told it was a racist attack. You were told of the dangers of far-right extremism. You were invited to agree that this kind of intolerance could not be tolerated. Was he vulnerable? Was it a racist attack? Our evidence shows the answers to both these questions was no. Was the Syrian lad waterboarded? Why was this word used? What about this? Was that waterboarding? Take a look at this. It shows a group of non-white children beating up a white girl. It went viral online, but it wasn't touched by the mainstream media. It wasn't made into a global story. Why not? Meanwhile, the usual suspects had lit the fire and were gleefully stoking the flames.
Everybody was exposing the scumbag that did this, who I hope gets severe retribution.
And of course, the politicians. They're always quick to jump on the bandwagon. Theresa May, Sajid Javid, Naz Shah, Nicholas Soames, Winston Churchill's grandson. Such moral outrage. And it's not just the media and the politicians. In today's Twitter and Facebook-driven worlds, where celebrities and groups compete to virtue signal, most of them driven by the warm feeling they get by expressing their moral outrage, or by fear. The fear of what might happen to them if they don't. Everyone who's anyone pumped the Bailey Jamal story. Boxers, Lennox Lewis, Huddersfield Football Club, celebrities from across the globe.
Let's have a look at all of the celebrities and blue tick brigade who pumped the Jamal story.
And here are some of the people who pumped the story you watched earlier of the white girl getting beaten up. Sadly, whether it's politicians, celebrities or other groups, none of them are wise enough or pause long enough to ask whether they have the whole story, to check the facts, to find the truth. But why let the truth get in the way of such a good story? And this story was just too good a story. Two lads in a playground scrap is not international news. But racist white thug waterboards helpless Syrian refugee. Boom! Racism can't be tolerated. Beware of the far right. That's their kind of story. We'll hear more about the militant left later, but they clearly weren't going to miss out on this.
Well, representing might be too harsh a word, but I'm here as a concerned citizen.
Mohammed Amin Pandor, a mufti on a mission. He rushed to Almonbury from his mosque in Batley, a town at the far end of the district. In fact, there's 40 mosques closer to this school. But perhaps Mufti Pandor had his own agenda. You see, his little brother, Councillor Shabir Pandor, is the leader of Kirklees Council in Huddersfield. And they were having some pretty bad news days at that time. By the way, Mufti Pandor, he's the same guy who ordered the Islamic mob to come to the school in Batley and demand the sacking of the RE teacher who showed a cartoon of Muhammad in a discussion about free speech.
Look at what we do as a community, and you'll understand our stance. So what has happened is totally unacceptable. Yeah, and we have made sure that the school understands that. The teacher has been suspended. The teacher has been suspended.
You may recall the teacher had to flee and he's still in hiding under police protection. Luckily, he hasn't ended up like Samuel Paty, the French teacher who was beheaded for having a similar discussion in a classroom about free speech. You see, free speech is essential for any society wishing to maintain intellectual and social
Can we
progress.
stop at the end of this
Not
one?
all
Lou?
societies are bothered about intellectual and social progress. Should we be silenced by the demands of Mufti Pandor
Moon?
and Sharia?
Yep, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, because it's a review, we have to stop and sort that talk every now and again.
Yeah.
So, from what we're hearing so far, is just leading up with the facts of what's happened. Now, I remember when Jamal got attacked. I remember that the story was in the press before Tommy Robinson even got involved, even though they won't tell you that now. It went to the papers first.
Yes.
So to blame Tommy Robinson for the hysteria that happened afterwards is a lie. It was already in the press. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the week that that incident happened, I remember loads of videos going out of girls. There was another one of a white girl sitting on her own up at the back of a bus and a load of Muslim girls with headscarves on who got hold of her and dragged her right down the centre of the bus and beat her up. So there was quite a few of those videos, but no one was bothered about that.
No. And those videos were also shared to Twitter pages such as Theresa May, Piers Morgan.
Yep.
And still, and the news, nothing was said. Nothing. We showed everyone, Diana, but the whole lot.
Exactly. So let's carry on playing because this is showing. But you see, even with this Batley thing, I think that's scandalous because that teacher's still in hiding. He had to move from where he grew up, couldn't teach in the area that he grew up. And for what?
Yep.
For telling people what happened with Charlie Hebdo. It's fucking disgusting.
Exactly.
And the worst thing,
the truth. You can't tell the world that people got murdered over fucking cartoons. What kind of world are we living in?
Exactly.
and do you know what? And the worst thing about the Charlie Hebdo thing, he done it with all religions, not just with the Muslim faith. He's done it with the Sikh faith and the Jewish faith. His cartoons as well. I remember Raj showing Banksy showing me it all. Yeah, so he hasn't just attacked the Muslim faith. He's done it with everybody's faith. Remember Banksy showing.
Don't forget what Tommy's just sort of been saying, that this Mufti and his brother were both, because the grooming gang thing had just spilled over and gone out. This was like, he travelled.
It's like a diversion deliberately put out by the establishment.
Yeah. So he travelled past 40 mosques to go to this place, get his fucking ass involved and kick up a storm. And whilst this went on, we all know what happened. Now, the fact, people like Piers Morgan, who'd already abused a dead girl, don't forget.
Yeah.
And his crimes against children, his crime and others against Bailey, who was a child. But these arseholes never, ever, ever stand for their crime ever. And that's what needs changing. And people have got to get out and get up and put their foot down. He gets away with it, everything, against kids.
Yep. Don't forget, this is all children that they've revolved this around. And I think this is what makes it more makes me feel more disgusted, because we'd already had the white girls that had been attacked
Yes.
numerously up and down the country through rape, and now they were attacking white males, children who wanted to defend girls
without knowing the truth.
Yeah.
Or worse still, knowing it but hiding it.
Flick up.
Stating that Jamal wasn't innocent and telling some facts about Jamal beating up girls, an instance that I'd been warned about by the
Sorry, I
members
think
of
that
this community
flicked on
to
or-
tell the truth about what
Okay,
happened
it's
at this
all
school.
right.
I've got to prove it in court. So I've come to Huddersfield. I'm now going to knock. I need to find witnesses. I've got addresses for many. I need to knock and talk to them and see who I can get to come to court to help me prove to you, the public. This is about as much as proving in court as proving to you, the British public, that I was the only journalist in the country who told the truth about what happened in this community. The story you were told. You were told that a vulnerable Syrian child refugee had been bullied and waterboarded by a nasty white boy. You were told it was a racist attack. You were told of the dangers of far-right extremism. You were invited to agree that this kind of intolerance could not be tolerated. Was he vulnerable? Was it a racist attack? Our evidence shows the answers to both these questions was no. Was the Syrian lad waterboarded? Why was this word used? What about this?
Moon, you've gone backwards.
Was that waterboarding?
Yeah, for some reason it bloody flicked back. Okay.
Yeah, because it's that media thing in it. It's their play system is really funny.
I think, I don't know if it's because I moved, because I stopped it. Right. Let's
It's
go.
not just the media and the politicians. In today's Twitter and Facebook driven worlds where celebrities and groups compete to virtue signal, most of them driven by the warm feeling they get by expressing their moral outrage or by fear. The fear of what might happen to them if they don't. Everyone who's anyone pumped the Bailey Jamal story. Boxers, Lennox Lewis, Huddersfield Football Club, celebrities from across the globe.
Let's have a look at all of the celebrities and blue tick brigade who pumped the Jamal story.
And here are some of the people who pumped the story you watched earlier of the white girl getting beaten up. Sadly, whether it's politicians, celebrities, or other groups, none of them are wise enough or pause long enough to ask whether they have the whole story, to check the facts, to find the truth. But why let the truth get in the way of such a good story? And this story was just too good a story. Two lads in a playground scrap is not international news. But racist white thug waterboards helpless Syrian refugee. Boom! Racism can't be tolerated. Beware of the far right. That's their kind of story. We'll hear more about the militant left later, but they clearly weren't going to miss out on this.
Representing might be too harsh a word, but I'm here as a concerned citizen.
Mohammed Amin Pandor, a mufti on a mission. He rushed to Almondbury from his mosque in Batley, a town at the far end of the district. In fact, there's 40 mosques closer to this school. But perhaps Mufti Pandor had his own agenda. You see, his little brother, Councillor Shabir Pandor, is the leader of Kirklees Council in Huddersfield. And they were having some pretty bad news days at that time. By the way, Mufti Pandor, he's the same guy who ordered the Islamic mob to come to the school in Batley and demand the sacking of the RE teacher who showed a cartoon of Muhammad in a discussion about free speech.
Look at what we do as a community, and you'll understand our stance. So what has happened is totally unacceptable. Yeah, and we have made sure that the school understands that. The teacher has been suspended. The teacher has been suspended.
You may recall the teacher had to flee and he's still in hiding under police protection. Luckily, he hasn't ended up like Samuel Paty, the French teacher who was beheaded for having a similar discussion in a classroom about free speech. You see, free speech is essential for any society wishing to maintain intellectual and social progress. But not all societies are bothered about intellectual and social progress. Should we be silenced by the demands of Mufti Pandor and Sharia law?
No.
Should we sacrifice our freedom of speech? Should we
No.
sacrifice the free and open exchange of ideas?
No.
Should we sacrifice the cultural inheritance of which we are all custodians? But back to the bad news days in Kirklees and the playground incident in 2018. There was also Kirklees councillor Masood Ahmed.
I'm not aware of there's a problem at the school. That's something obviously I need to find
Oh,
out
for God's
in
sake.
terms of that if there is a problem at the school, and that is something I will definitely be picking up.
Now, some of you may remember this.
My colleague is going to explain what's going to happen next, right?
Am I being arrested?
Oh,
I am being
no.
arrested.
Causing a breach of peace.
I've caused a
breach of
I've caused a breach of peace. I'm being arrested.
But the content of what you're
Can we just say
streaming,
The content of what I'm streaming, I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. I'm being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
Right, I was watching that at the time. And I saw him on so many occasions. He checked with the police, and I'm
Yep.
still all right to be here. I'm still all right to be here. I'm still all right to be here. And they did that. It's fucking disgusting. But what I'm going to just ask, right? Men of England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, where the fuck are you? Because if these invaders, as a lot of them are, right, can round up their thugs to threaten death and rape on British people, where the fuck are you? This is what fucks me off.
Can you just turn off
Yes.
your live feed?
Can you get me a solicitor?
Turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah.
do you understand what I just said?
No, can you explain it again?
You're under arrest on suspicion of a breach of peace.
What does that mean? What does that mean, officer?
At the same time as this playground spat between two young lads, 20 Huddersfield men were being jailed across Yorkshire at Leeds Crown Court for what would be the biggest grooming gang Britain has ever seen. Ultimately, 35 almost exclusively Muslim men would be given 380 years in prison for grooming, trafficking and raping young
The
children,
state of them.
most of whom were known to Councillor Pandor's Kirklees Council. Mufti Pandor travelled for half an hour to rabble-rouse a gang outside the school gates over this playground incident, when within a couple of mile radius in Batley, police have arrested a further 99 men in relation to historic
Wow.
sex crimes. So
Yeah.
far, 32 have been charged, including one Ibrahim Pandor, 41 of Batley. That makes it the highest destination of grooming gang arrests
Obviously a
anywhere
relative.
in the UK.
Yeah.
Do you know Batley's the most highest rate for grooming capital of Europe for grooming gangs?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So while all that was breaking, they decided to make this shit up.
Mm.
And everyone was focused on a silly schoolboy fight. I mean, Christ almighty, we've all seen worse punch-ups in schools.
It was all a deflection.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was. And no wonder they're all shitting their pants. But they don't need to shit their pants, do they, Jupiter? Because no one is doing fuck all about it. No one's going to do fuck all about it.
Yeah, because the people in power of the MPs and that, the multi-millionaires are paying off the government, you know, so they get away from what they're doing.
I get that. I get that. But we have over 1 million children gang raped in this country by these grooming gangs. Some have
And
been
no
killed.
one has set up a GoFundMe from the top down. Like, where's Piers Morgan setting up a GoFundMe to get these girls counselling centres? No, let's worry about a fucking retard who got fucking water splashed on him.
Yeah. And don't forget, we have in amongst that 2 million, because they've got 2 parents per child, 2 million parents who should have been out saying something, and then everybody else should have got behind them. This country should have been awash with people standing up to what was happening in this country, and unfortunately, no one did. No one did. And I blame social media because it was too easy to sit on Facebook and watch people like Babs go out there and do all the protesting instead of getting out there and doing it as well. And we're all pretty much to blame for that.
So I went.
We are, Jupiter.
Yeah, I went to a couple of protests though. Did you go? Did you go to Freedom Day?
No.
I didn't go to the Freedom, but I went to when he first went inside, and secondly, I've gone to a load of protests against for children anyway.
Yeah,
and unfortunately,
so I have been to some. I went and I also went outside Belmarsh when he got put away.
But unfortunately, this is not just a problem with people turning out. It's if people are doing demonstration for the children, like there's one today. I don't know what the turnout's like. There's not many turning up. They did start turning up about last summer. Everybody around the country were doing it and demonstrating. But like he said, people don't bother. They'll moan about it, but won't come out in force.
Yeah, but what you had happen was you had Clanwell that got in the middle and started causing divisions. And then you also had other people that jumped on the bandwagon that were extreme. People like James Goddard, people like Mark Collett. And Clanwell and people like that tried to make out that ordinary Tommy Robinson supporters and people that were upset, not with the grooming gangs. Some people didn't even support Tommy Robinson, but they agreed with what he was saying. They made out that they were all people like Mark Collett, etc. And they've done that from day dot. That's why that recording of Simon last week, I don't know if people got it, but on my channel a couple of days ago, was so important when you heard Simon Thomas Lord admitting that not only was he hope not hate, but that his aim was to make sure that everybody that even protested against all this stuff is going to get done. And he doesn't want people to work out that there are far-right extremists and then there's just ordinary people. He don't care. He wants them all done.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny, Jupiter. 2 million angry parents would just tread on Simon's head and walk straight over him. Give me a parent who followed. So Jamal gets a whole menagerie of violent thugs who were actually threatening rape and murder behind him. And I don't understand why that didn't happen for Bailey.
Well, it kind of did. But Bailey did. Look, Bailey did get support. Tommy did talk about it. A lot of people did fucking support. I mean, I know that there's a lot of streams where people have said Jamal don't deserve no money, this, that, and the other. But what I'm trying to point out, Moon, is that realistically on the ground, Day for Freedom was the biggest turnout. Thousands of people came out. They said they wanted to keep free speech. Because don't forget, it's not just about the girls. It's not just about Jamal and what went wrong there. It's about the political side of it all, right?
Exactly.
And this Day for Freedom was about free speech, maintaining it, okay, and being able to call out the truth and how dangerous it was. Straight away, there was a campaign to undermine that. Make everybody that came out for Day for Freedom racist. Make all the racists, some of them were bought and some of them were just fucking a useful idiot, came out, putting themselves straight up front. People like Ralph, people like James Goddard, people like Jada Franson. All of these people, by the way, Tommy Robinson has proved he's got connections to Hope Not Hate.
Yeah.
All came out to conflate the issue, to confuse the issue, so that ordinary people on the right or the left, or even apolitical, that just disagreed with our rights being taken away and girls being attacked and raped. Forget even skin colour, because there were some black victims, there were some Muslim girls that were victims, and there were even boys. I don't know and not a lot of people know that. There was even some boys that were abused. right?
Yeah.
So let's just forget that angle of it for the minute. And Simon Lord was one of the people, along with the rest of Clown World, that came in to deliberately tarnish every single one of those concerned citizens as far right. And from that day to this, it has not stopped. Look at Liverpool. Look at Liverpool. Look at what happened up in Liverpool when people came out. They said, look, this is not right. You've been putting all these illegal immigrants here. They've been taking over the parks. They've been taking over the high streets. They've been attacking our daughters and everything else. And we've had enough of it. What happened?
And it's the poorest part of the country as well. It's
And they were Labour supporters. They're the biggest Labour supporters.
Yeah.
Part of
And the area is the poorest area of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened? Yeah, but what happened there? A group of people balaclavaed up, claiming that they were on the right, went in and started smashing up police vehicles. No, they were paid agents.
Yeah,
because Liverpool's a community. Liverpool's a community, and they will come out for anything bad in their community. That's what, you know. Really, we should take example from Liverpool, because anything tragedy or anything happens in that city, they all come out in unity. They've done it for Anthony Walker when he got murdered. Everybody comes out, and that's what the whole country's got to start doing. We've got to take the examples from them.
I agree with you, Rick, but the problem is we've got arseholes that we can't trust in this country. They pretend they're standing with you, but they're setting you up. That's the first thing. So gradually, one by one, people fell away from standing up because they were either being set up as a paedophile, they were getting their families handed, they were being called racist and being set up as racist, when in fact they were none of those things. They were just
They were even taking their children away. They were even taking
people were centre left. They weren't even on the right.
And there were stories about children getting taken away from them as well. Their children, they were getting their children and putting them in care because people were standing up for what was right.
Exactly.
That's what they were
what
doing.
happened was everybody was being targeted. Everyone was getting targeted. Everyone was getting brandished. People fell apart. Then you had the other ones coming in with their instigation. No, you should stand on our side. No, you should stand on our side. When all people were interested in A, maintaining freedom of speech. B, maintaining their civil rights. C, stopping the grooming of a nation of fucking children based on skin colour in most cases, but not exclusively. That's all the people really wanted. And we had look at what's his name? The one with the fucking scarf. What's his name? Lister. Look at Lister.
Oh Christ! Yeah, I haven't seen him at that age.
Talking a load of bollocks, brandishing people this, brandishing people that. Don't get me wrong. Some of the people he brandished, he was fucking right.
Yeah.
But he came in brandishing any ordinary thingy. Then you see the extremists. This is what really pissed me off. You expect it from people on the left or people that are apolitical who don't really understand the positions. You expect that, right? It just comes with the territory. You're going to have to stand there and try and explain till you're blue in the face. But the extreme left and the extreme right and the black nationalist and the white nationalist, the extremes, all clicked into place and started working together to go against ordinary citizens. And we haven't recovered. We haven't recovered from that. That's why people are afraid. Can you blame them?
Well, like I said, there was a story in Leicester where a group of Sikh men went into a restaurant, curry restaurant, pulled out all the groom girls out of there, came into a great big fight, and out of all the big fight between the Muslims and the Sikhs, the 5 Sikhs got put in jail.
Arrested. Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't be put off. Carry your own banner. Stay away from these fucking groups. Most of them are just there to make a few bob. Carry your own banner. Carry your own flag. Go under your own rights. You don't have to be in a group.
But the problem is, like what happened to Babs, there's disingenuous cunts out there. Babs goes to all the protests, right, for civil rights and everything. And there she was, standing at one protest, doesn't know who the fucking fella standing next to her is. They snap a picture because they know, but Babs didn't. Snap a picture, and then the next minute, oh, Babs is NF when she's not.
They were doing that in the Clown World group. They tried that on with TW as well. They've tried it on with everyone.
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you. Clown World knew exactly what they were doing with all their fucking bullshit. And Clown World should be fucking ashamed, because Clown World and that fucking platform, the two platforms, I still hate it here, and Danny Oakes-Jones, who put these people on there and fucking upheld them and said that Athena and Mandy Mosley were talking truth and public annoyance and everything. Well, by the end of this video, they should hang their head in shame, because they were going around saying the judge made the right call, that there was no evidence. We are about to find out there was fucking plenty of evidence. Let's play, Moon.
Yep.
In gang atrocities. Nothing. We Googled to see what Councillor Masood Ahmed's condemnation. Nothing. In fact, we can't find the condemnation from the Mufti's brother either. Councillor Shabir Pandor, leader of the council. Just one statement from him, reported in June 2019, telling the National Working Group of Child Sexual Exploitation Response Unit that his authority had moved forward. That's it. They've moved on. Never mind grooming gangs, gang rape of young children. All these men seem to be far more concerned about what happened in a playground at Almondbury Community School, or about cartoons of their prophet Muhammad. I think I now realise how difficult this is going to be, because everyone we've spoke to today, they're all confirming what I said was true. Everyone's confirming what Jamal was like, including school staff. But as soon as I mention this camera, as soon as I mention court, I need someone to come to court, they just totally silent straight away. No one can have said that. I need to show the public everything I've heard today. I need the public to hear and know the truth. I need them to know how much they've been lied to by the media about what happened in this town. And the only way, unfortunately, I'm going to be able to do that is with hidden cameras. Because today, I've heard the truth, but I need every one of you to know the truth. And everyone's too scared. That's why I said Project Fear. Everyone is too scared to speak the truth or to come to court. So I'm going to end up getting hammered in court. The whole world told I've lied when I haven't. I was the only journalist in the UK who told the truth. So we need to prove it. So we'll shoot down the motorway now. We'll go get these hidden cameras. These are all. So this is a tie. There's a camera in that. That's the camera. Mad, isn't it? The camera there. This today, that's the camera. I'll have to take this off, but it doesn't matter, because apparently this records all the audio, records everything. That's the camera, and I feel a little bit dirty doing this, but it is the only way I'm going to get people to speak. And then I need you to hear what I hear.
The idea that people would maraud the streets looking for him was appalling. The fact that the video itself, although it showed the accumulation of things that are built up to that, did not deserve what happened to him or to anybody else in that situation. And I'm afraid the media, I call it a perfect storm. I was getting emails from Pakistan, from Australia, from America, telling me to resign. So it went worldwide, and I'm afraid I came into teaching to help poor people, and they got rid of me. I've got a problem here. I lost my job over this, and as a result, the council has told me that I cannot speak to anybody ever about it. So I can't discuss it. I can't discuss it with the media. I've always wanted to have my say against it, which I've never had. Never been allowed to have. Never been allowed to say goodbye to my staff. Was just told to leave. So I worked there nearly 20 years, and never got a card, never got a goodbye.
This whole thing was just used. The whole thing was used to push them in.
And hijacked and by the right of the political, I'm quite a political person, by the right and the left, it was hijacked and spun all out of proportion, and now we've got problems.
But essentially what I've got,
so where you'll meet is a wall of silence.
What a mess.
It is a mess, but it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy for Bailey. I'm not sure Jamal will get anything out of this ever in his life, positive out of it either, necessarily. He might have got a few silver coins from Judas, but that's about it. You know, that's it.
The thing is that the incident happened 6 weeks prior, or weeks prior. And then on the same day at the same time, I've looked at the timings, the GoFundMe set up, the statement's released.
Well, now you see you're putting a picture together.
And then they built it up.
I couldn't comment on that, but you've got a picture there.
Already, that's gold, yeah. I know that's gold. All I hope that's recorded. I can't turn a computer on. So I just pray that's got the audio and the visual, and it's not pointing up there, that we've got it, because that was the head teacher. And that's the first visit. And I know this is going to work. This is exciting.
Was there a racism problem in the school? And
well, no, I don't think there was.
What about other Syrian refugees? Like, do you think what happened to Jamal in the school was because he was a Syrian refugee?
No, not all. I told you before that would have happened if the child was white, big, blue, whatever colour.
They're all scared.
Yeah. There's a lot of careers, aren't there? I work for probation service now.
You do now?
Yeah. So I don't know where I stand with it. If I go, I could lose my job.
So they seem to be pretty keen on these NDAs.
No.
Who is that?
Deputy Council. But I can't disclose that with you.
Like what?
Loads. I'm saying I can't disclose it because I signed it.
That incident was talked about by Theresa May at a G20 summit. We asked her a question about it. We were then Ofsteded by 5 of the top inspectors in the country. Then only sent 1 registered inspector. We had the head of safeguarding. I had Amanda Spielman, the head of Ofsted, speaking to me about it. If you want my honest opinion, they said, get up there. This is, I don't know who they is. Get up there and shut that school. Get up there and get rid of this.
Get rid of the problem over the Bailey.
Correct.
Over Jamal.
Correct. Get up there and get rid of it.
But why do you think that is? Like, do you think, because I looked at Jamal, because he came here 2 years ago, I've got so many negative things said about him now by so many people. But I mean so many. I mean, I've got children at school.
I've said it to you before. Yeah. We have 9 Syrian children, 9 families.
Yep.
We only have 1 issue.
But my view is that you won't get much of an answer out of Rob because he worked there and he's bound by various confidentiality. So
non-disclosure agreements. Did he get paid as well?
Not going to comment.
They all have. Every teacher got paid not to tell the truth. But the head teacher can't even talk about Jamal at all.
No, neither can I.
Neither can you. What's your name?
Well, if you work it out, it must be a good one, mustn't it?
Oh, yes. Did you work there as well?
No, I was the chair of governors there. But so it's not.
What my issue is?
You're not going to get anywhere. Really.
No, yeah.
And Rob wouldn't talk to you either, so it's.
They're trying to.
It's pointless me even giving you.
I told the truth.
Your contact details.
Okay.
It wouldn't work. With it.
I told the truth about what happened that day.
I am not even arguing.
His life was destroyed.
Well, that's not fair either, is it?
As a racist bully, and he won't.
And he wasn't.
I know.
You and I both know that.
I know.
Unfortunately, the truth is just.
How much money?
I can't see the figure because if I see the figure, it goes out.
Because, mate, 18.
I've just found out. Well, the head teacher's told us already that he was blackmailed and threatened. I've just found out of Kumar. He was paid £18,000. Paid. He said, I can't say. Shh. I signed. I was paid. I said, paid what? He was paid money by the local council, so he can't tell the truth about what's gone on in that school. They've given everyone non-disclosure agreements, from school staff to governors, and Paul Kumar to get £18,000. He's not even involved. Silencing everybody, so no one can ever. This is forever. Once you sign that agreement, No one can ever tell the truth while they push this manufactured lie that destroyed lives, schools, communities, everyone's life. I've seen life after life after life, person after person's life destroyed, while the council, your local council, Kirklees Council, give away hundreds of thousands of pounds to make sure that the truth can never be told. I can't believe it. I knew from day dot, I asked myself the question, when this was blowing up and I knew the truth, I kept saying, how come no teacher's telling the truth? If all those teachers know what's gone on in that school, how come none of them are coming out and saying? Well, now we know. Now the whole world's going to know. Because Kirklees Council paid them not to. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So, 18 grand to shit all over your country, to shit all over your children.
Cunts.
Traitorous pieces of shit. And this is what I mean, dupes. Where has the fucking backbone gone?
Well, there you go.
Where?
And how many of these people that we see online would be related to these people that took that Judas blood money?
Yeah.
Now you know why people are so, up in arms. No, shh. Do we wonder if anybody might have took blood money over Rochdale or Telford?
Of course they did.
Definitely.
Of course they did. Social services workers, of course. Yeah, and the police.
Definitely.
Of course they did.
Why so many people of a certain age group are all sort of like, shh.
They pay, the social services pay bonuses to their workers to put children in care for no reason. It's a bonus scheme, isn't it? It's scary.
All getting paid. But in a way, Moon, I don't blame them for taking money because
they're getting put in their family.
They would have been forced to sign non-disclosure agreements anyway. And they would have been put under immense pressure from the local community and victimised. So they might as well get some money out of it while they're in that situation. But if it was me, I'd say no, stick your money, stick your non-disclosure.
Yeah,
fuck off.
blood money.
But you don't know if their families are being threatened or anything,
Exactly, and that's why I'm giving them a small window of room to say, I can understand what pressure is. Look at what we've been under just for speaking the truth online. We don't even live in that area. Can you imagine how bad it would be if you're surrounded by these people?
No.
So I'll take it that guy who's a Muslim guy who said he's a probation officer. It's obviously he wants to speak out. He's frustrated, but he can't.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse. And Athena and Mandy Mosley went around telling everybody there was no testimonies from teachers. That was all a lie. The real Tommy Robinson's been exposed. He's not the man we thought he was. What fucking lying cunts.
And don't forget this documentary was done 2.5 years ago as well, this.
Yep.
Jamal was in your year?
Yeah, he was in the same year as me.
What was Jamal's attitude like?
He wasn't very nice. He called female teachers bitches. He just didn't really have respect for the female students, to be honest. Basically, we were in a PE lesson and we were playing hockey with a teacher called Mr. Cattell, and I had taken the hockey puck off of Jamal because I was on the other team and sent it to the other side of the room where my teammates were. And I then turned around and just felt a really sharp pain in my back, and he'd swung the hockey stick over his head and hit me in the spine with it.
Do you think there's any way that could have been an accident?
No. It knocked me to my knees.
It knocked you to your knees. How long had Jamal been at school when this happened?
About 2 weeks. I've had lasting injuries from it. It's caused me to have severe pain in the top of my back, and I'm on medication for the pain.
Still now?
Yeah.
Did Jamal get in trouble for this?
Not that I'm aware of.
First, I want to apologise to anyone I've been forced to record with a hidden camera. Sadly, people are terrified to tell the truth because of the potential consequences. But the truth still needs to be told.
Do you remember of any incident specifically with Jamal with girls?
Well, there was that one where he hit that girl with hockey stick, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah.
I think of her name then.
Yeah, in Moscow.
Lovely little girl, that.
Yeah.
It was just rude to him, obnoxious, bloody nasty. No respect for ladies, no respect for girls.
Yeah.
Because he was like to the side of me, so he like tried like pushing me, and like so I quickly moved out there because obviously I knew what it was like. He would have actually hit me and stuff.
Yeah.
So I moved, and then that's when he like moved his arms if he was going to try to slap my face like that.
Okay. And he did, but on that day he spat at you multiple times. Where'd the spit go?
Like literally all on my uniform outside and all down the school bag. Because when I went home, I told mum and my mum was disgusted in it. But the school said that because it was outside of school times, they can't really do much about it.
Okay.
He's a nasty little piece of shit.
Was he?
Yeah. And I told your solicitor that when she rung me.
Okay.
He's a horrible boy.
Is he?
Yeah. And it's all that.
What was he like at school then?
Nasty.
To
everybody and anybody. He had no respect for women at all. None. And even staff.
Jamal grabbed him by his tie, which just threw him against the wall, cracked his head up and against back at wall, and just kept throwing him against the wall. This kid was out unconscious already. That's just malicious. That's just intent to kill.
The house,
were they?
They had a young lad and a girl, and they were horrendous. The kids, they were just horrific. The kids that they had, they used to bully the kids.
What, Jamal?
Yeah.
See, what was Jamal like though?
A dickhead.
Was he?
He came to isolation a few times. They weren't perfect child.
No. He was betrayed.
Well, you know what job I did, don't you?
He was in isolation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In isolation lots of times. Well, he used to lie a lot.
But this whole thing was built off what he said, and if he lied a lot, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
What's that?
He was quite a violent person.
He was a violent person?
Yeah. Like, see, I was the year below, and he was the year above.
Yep.
He used to, every time I walked past, I grabbed him in.
Every time you walked past him?
What about, your mum said something about he put something in between his hands?
Oh, yeah. It was a compass. I remembered it yesterday, just as you went. It was a compass. It got a compass, and he was going around like, when he got to me, he went proper hard into me, made me bleed and everything. And I think it was Miss Ennis that proper gave him a telling off.
Okay. Well, there are testimonies from several children who alleged they were being bullied by him. Younger children, little girls, mostly girls. Is Jamal the innocent victim you've been told? I gathered these testimonies over just a few hours filming in Huddersfield. I could have carried on.
Yeah, I was waiting outside isolation to beat the girl up.
And about the lies.
Yeah, I'll say about Jamal. He used to tell fibs. Several times he got investigated, and it just fucking turned out to be fucking lies.
The fact he always lied is a big point. The fact that you know that the police, the school investigated incidents where he said things happened, and they turned out to be made up.
Yeah, it was fibs. They couldn't have happened. It couldn't happen because of I think there was one. The child wasn't even in school that he accused. I can remember.
I know he said a couple of things to kids.
Yeah.
You know, about what he was going to do to sisters and what have you.
To Bailey?
To Bailey and to others.
And to others.
But not a very nice boy.
When you say, what was he going to do to the sisters?
Well, he told Bailey he was going to rape them.
Told Bailey's going to rape his sister. Just to see what he was genuinely like.
No, not a nice lad.
Right, and I've tried to argue that it was in the public's interest for them to know the truth about Jamal. Unless
Bailey was just retaliating.
Yeah.
You know, which most people do if somebody threatens their sisters.
Yeah.
Younger.
Yeah. Bullet.
Jamal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding now.
Yeah. That's what I remember. He said he was going to stab him, so I think it was science or something.
Yeah.
If I remember. He said, yeah, so he goes, come on then. What are you saying now?
Because that thing of him getting caught with a knife in school, it's like, what? Caught with a knife and a screwdriver?
Yeah.
Bailey gets his pelt for pouring a bottle of water.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Surely you get.
You got a statement on that?
No, because there's things missing. But I've got his dad mention it in the minutes of a meeting. His dad mentions it in the meeting with the school. His dad mentions about them catching him with a knife and a screwdriver. His dad brought it up. I've got it in black and white.
Yeah, so you've got a good case there.
I've got it. Yeah, he got caught with a knife. They can't deny it. You see, the truth was there for the media. It was there for celebrities and politicians to see. They could have told you the truth at the time. Before some of you gave over £160,000 of your money to the poor victim, Jamal.
Not mine.
Well, not so poor anymore. But none of this was true. A key part of this case is that I reported what I was told. Before my involvement in this story, a mother went online and said her daughter had been attacked by Jamal. I contacted that mother. She sent me images of her daughter. She said her little daughter was beaten by 3 Muslim girls and that Jamal jumped in and bit her daughter on the head. She sent me the images of the bite marks on her daughter's head. I said, can I speak to you? Can I interview you? I rang the mother, but the child was too scared to talk to me.
She's scared.
Oh, no, everyone's scared. A girl went online and said that she had been attacked by Jamal. Both of these victims deleted their comments. Why? Both of these victims had gone online and reported this before my involvement at all in this case. I simply reported what they were saying. We revisited the mother's house to try and get confirmation as to why she backtracked on the story she had put out and the story she had told me.
I don't care if you're driving, Tommy Robinson's there.
Tell her not to worry, don't worry.
He said don't worry.
Okay. I remember at the time because I was in these groups on Facebook on the left and on the right, watching what was going on to make my own analysis, right? And I remember all of the screenshots of the Facebook posts being posted, and if you see some of the things that were being said to Bailey's sisters about rape, they were going to rape his mum, they were going to rape his sisters, they were going to rape his neighbours.
Yeah.
It was fucking mental. They had people turning up outside their house, throwing bricks at the windows, fucking mob-handed. Now, if you live in an area in Kirklees, yeah, where you had all those rapes going on, remember all the rapes that we just see earlier with all them men, and they're giving a green light to a family being harassed with 8 and 9-year-old girls. And you know that you've got rapists literally living in your community. And the rapists are there thinking, yeah, and no one's doing anything about this. We can get hold of them girls and we can do it if we want.
Yeah.
That's a fucking scary situation. Imagine being a single mother. You've got 2 young daughters and you're at your fucking dawn in the community. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's carry on.
Yeah. So when you put online about Jamal, what happened? Like, what did you receive? What happened? What was the response to that?
What do you mean?
I mean, did you receive? Did you receive?
Did I receive threats? Yeah, we did.
What sort of threats?
Rape, all sorts, Tommy, all sorts.
And I'm just because what I'm trying to understand is that and is that because what I've looked at, and then because Jamal's solicitors are using a statement that you made saying that Jamal had nothing to do with it, but was that? I'm asking, was that in response to the threats you received?
Yeah.
It was. Okay.
I don't feel safe at school. Sometimes I say to my dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was just crying and I didn't do nothing because I respect the school rules.
He was put up on a pedestal by every single media outlet, politicians, footballers, celebrities, boxers, everybody. They're suing me for defamation for what I've said about him. All I'm knocking on the door and asking teacher after teacher after teacher is what was Jamal like? And it's just flowing. It's just boom. And he was far worse than anything I said. Far worse. I find it insane. Because there is no way that all the things I'm now finding out, that no other journalist has found this out. They must have known what it was like, because it hasn't been hard.
But how they portrayed poor Bailey was disgusting. It really was.
Cool, because that's what I spoke to loads of people who said, no, Bailey wasn't a bully.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't
I mean,
racist.
His mum had a bit of a gob, don't get me wrong, because they used to live up here.
Yeah.
Bailey wasn't like that. So he had two half-caste sisters, so
I know.
how could he have been bad, you know? But Bailey wasn't racist.
So you were told Bailey was a bully and he was a racist. He wasn't a saint in school. He'd be the first to admit that. But he wasn't a bully or a racist. The police concluded there was nothing racist about the scuffle. Yet you were told he was vermin. You were told he needed to be dealt with. He was vilified by the media, by politicians and by celebrities. Bailey a bully? Bailey a racist? Not according to his teachers and other children. Not according to his head teacher of his school.
He was a 15-year-old kid, and it would have been, could be, have a great future. He's a very articulate lad. He's got a lot of issue about justice. Yeah, I think, I could have seen him being a lawyer or something like that because he had that in him. Really? Yeah. And he would stand up for his peers in school where he felt things were. Yeah. He would do that.
But Bailey didn't even get to sit his GCSEs because of this campaign of hate, this perversion of the truth. What about Jamal's broken arm? Which the world was told was because of bullying. That was a lie. School incident reports record that he had been punching a much younger child in the face while holding him in a headlock, and he was pushed off him, fell and broke his arm. The police considered the incident to have been dealt with properly.
He started calling me a white fat bitch and stuff, and then he
It's like calling your mum
a white fat bitch.
a white fat bitch.
And then I went up to him, and then I chucked the bottle at him, and then he put me in a headlock, and then my mate pushed him off.
And I believe that's how he broke his arm.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of misconceptions, like the fact that he had a broken arm.
I've got two independent witnesses to
No,
it.
he hit a year 8 kid. And another kid in year 11 stepped in and said, "What are you doing?" Pushed him over. Broke his arm.
Who he had in a headlock.
It must have been just start of year 11, put this kid in a headlock. One of my friends wasn't having it, didn't like how he was behaving, grabbed him and just threw him off him. Like anyone do break up a fight, they just like throw him off him. But this wasn't a fight. This was an all-out brawl, one-sided, completely one-sided. Because this kid had no match against Jamal. Just threw him off him and it landed on a curb.
How big was the kid? Jamal was in year 11.
Yeah, half the size of Jamal easily.
Okay. I know he was 12. Jamal was 15.
It was like kind of like half size-ish, kind of like up to shoulders kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he still had no match against him. And my friend just grabbed him, threw him off him. He landed on a curb. And I was like,
So I've read reported by Jeremy Vine and in the newspapers that that was the incident of Jamal being bullied.
no, exact opposite. He was bullying this kid.
So you see, people thought that was all part of it.
But that's, do you know why they,
Can somebody be thrown to the floor with a broken arm?
but do you know why they thought it was part of it? Because the solicitor said it was.
No, well, that's not true. That genuinely is not true. I could even name it. I could name the child in year 8 that he did it to, and I could name the child in year 11 that stepped in.
So someone stepped in
Because basically, the schools are a pretty good place. Kids have good values. So if you saw a bigger kid hitting a little kid, you said, "No, you step in and say, what are you doing?" Yeah, and we even had it where.
Do you know what he said to the year 8 kid?
No.
Mum and white slag.
Yes. Now
I've got that on camera as well.
Now you say it, yes, he would have done that, and that would have been incredibly provocative for him.
Even in his statement to court, Jamal claims they were forced to relocate from Huddersfield for their own safety to a different part of the country. Really? Because the records say there was no racial motivation and there was no threat at home. That's what the records say. And this is why the authorities, they refused to move them. And while all this was going on, records also show that his dad, Jihad, his dad's name is Jihad, he'd threatened to kill himself if the rest of his family weren't brought in from Syria. It's not surprising that some authorities expressed concerns that Jihad Hijazi was trying to manipulate the system to get what he wanted, including better housing. You were not told the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You weren't told anything approaching the truth by the mainstream media. And in Jihad Holy War's statement to the court, Jihad said that he wished he had died in the war with his family rather than go through what happened at Almonbury community school.
Oh God.
Really? You wish he was dead and all his family
What
was dead.
fucking
rather than go
liberty.
through the school playground
Isn't
incident.
it?
Listen, listen to what Bailey's saying. He's asking Jamal repeatedly, what are you saying now? It wasn't a random attack. It wasn't a racist attack. Bailey didn't threaten to stab Jamal. The playground incident was not the beginning of the story. It was a culmination of many events. Not least, it was a response to Jamal's alleged threats to rape Bailey's younger sisters. They're about 9 years old at the time of this.
So as a girl at that school, when you saw the portrayal of what happened with Bailey and him, because he was painted as this innocent little kid.
He wasn't innocent. It's out of never.
It's like never.
And I used to see him bully Bailey's little sisters and stuff. So.
Everybody was exposing the scumbag that did this, who I hope gets severe retribution. I hope his parents take action, right? Never mind anything else. What are you producing here? This vermin doing what he's doing here. That's not Britain. That's not what we do as a country.
You can hear him there describe Bailey as vermin. Words are important when you're on a daytime platform and people listen to what you say. What do you do to vermin? You exterminate. You kill it. Low life. Called him a thug. But worst of all, he demanded severe retribution against this child. At the same time as this, Jeremy Vine was reporting. He didn't tell people the bully's name, although he was finding it hard not to name the child. Instead, he told his followers where they could find that name. Now, this is a direct response of both of your reports. Because when you reported, you can follow the timeline and the repercussions of what that bore. What I've done here, in 2018, there's a charity called Tell Mama that records Muslim hate incidents. Even though they've been, in the past, penalised for exaggerating the figures, let's work off their figures. They say there are over 1,000 hate incidents, with 325 of them being online. Some of them Islamophobic, which means criticising Islam as well. Here, I've printed a piece of paper for each one of those hate incidents. 327 hate incidents online against the entire Muslim community of the UK in 2018. The 325 Islamophobic comments, they're the ones you read about on the news every day. They're the ones people in jail for. They're the hate incidents the media keep shoving down your throat. So each piece of paper here represents a hate comment aimed at a child after a playground dispute. I want to read these now. Piers,
Easy, your mic.
You demanded severe retribution.
Okay, on.
You demanded against this child. Let's see if you're happy with some of this. Say someone rapes you and your whole family while you watch.
There's loads of noise.
Yeah, it's Easy's mic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So before you move it on,
yes.
So all that pile there are all the rape threats, as opposed to 350 on Tell Mama. And we're supposed to believe that they're suffering more than the family or any of the other white children in the area that are receiving threats. What a load of bullshit. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that our country has allowed this to happen.
Exactly, Dupes. And at the end of this segment, if people aren't shocked and horrified at the result of what happens next, I don't know what to think anymore.
Well, the fact of the
absolutely
matter
disgusting.
is, what's interesting about this for me is that I always look for patterns of behaviour, right? And this is representative of what happens online when you get the true victims, yet the perpetrators are the one lying. They're the ones that gaslight. They're the ones that the authority are holding up. And it's all because they want to cover this shit up. It's obvious to me. And when people say that some of these people online are working for the government, They are, either directly or indirectly, and money is definitely exchanging hands. And here we have a classic example. People were being paid £18,000 for a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
No wonder we've got fucking little incels running around all over the place. How many of them do you think only got a fucking couple of £100 but are happy to fucking talk shit?
Yeah.
Right, this
exactly. Paid trolls, paid agitators. But the what, you know, the main one for me, I know, you know, the politicians and that, but Piers Morgan, what happens next? What you're going to hear next, I do not understand why he wasn't arrested for incitement to...
Nor me. And I think there should be a campaign for it, because that man...
So do I, Jukes.
Don't forget what he did in the papers to do with all those pictures that were fake. Remember the fake pictures that he had to run out of this country for, where he incited racial tensions and everything back then?
Yes.
Don't
Phone
forget that he
hacking.
was fucking telling people to go and take the fucking jab.
Yes.
Telling people they should be locked up. He turned into the Gestapo over the fucking jab. Now he wants to jump sides. And what he done with this? Piers
Well,
Morgan
this
is
was incitement because you'll hear what comes next.
Yeah. Cunt that he is.
Fuck your mother.
Yeah.
Fuck your love. The Syrians will rape your family. If I saw you, I would rape you to death. You'll be raped by the Falusian group. I hope your mother will not be racist when she is raped. I'm going to bum your nan alive, then dead her again. And the threats of rape, all of these threats of rape, imagine being these children. Imagine being a 15-year-old child living in Huddersfield with your little sisters. Muslim men are jailed in the biggest scandal in the history of our country for mass rapes in that town. And then you're receiving and you're reading these messages. You're going to die. You're going to fucking die. We're going to strangle your mum, your dad, your friends. I'll kill your whole family. I can't wait to find you so I can slit your throat. You're the person who should be killed in those ISIS videos. You, your parents, and your whole family have to be burned. Do everyone a favour and fucking off yourself. Looking at you makes me want to commit suicide. Go commit suicide, you oxygen thief. Jump off a bridge, bro. Do humans a favour and kill yourself. We don't want you, and you don't belong in this world. Again, imagine being that child reading them. Piers, is that severe enough for you? This is a mental health record for Bailey McLaren. Bailey was referred to Luton CAMHS by Luton and Dunstable Psychiatry Liaison on the 31st of December 2018. Reason, patient involved in incident in Huddersfield and has been relocated to Luton with family. Patient unable to cope with not returning home and has taken an overdose. So this lie, this narrative, this agenda, which comes before anything else.
So Piers Morgan nearly got what he was asking for, didn't he?
Well, can you imagine? We're talking about a 15-year-old kid. Bailey was 15.
Yes.
15-year-old kid. And they turned the whole world upside down and the whole media against the 15-year-old kid and his 8 and 9-year-old sisters who were under the threat of rape.
Yes. Yeah. And how has it just been brushed under the carpet? Because everyone's been fucking silenced. So now they're threatening Tommy with prison if this evidence got out. What are they, the fucking Gestapo?
Yep. That's exactly what they are.
Cunts.
Nazi cunts.
Fucking fuck Piers Morgan.
And it's going to be proven, it's going to be proven in these videos that the left are in bed with the extreme left, the extreme right, and that the extreme left, Nero or whatever his name is, was as racist as the fucking extreme white nationalists and the extreme black nationalists. It's going to be proven. And don't forget, that's who Apple Charlotte was a mod for.
Yes.
See the connections.
Yep. Yeah. Well, she liked seeing people having death threats. She sat with Simon, agreeing and giggling how he wanted to kill me. And she joined in with that. So, yeah, another Piers Morgan.
By the politicians, by the media, that was pumped. This child, it doesn't matter. His life didn't matter. You know, if he killed himself, no one would have cared. We wouldn't have heard condemnation from any of the politicians or from any of the media. No one cared, because everyone from start to finish in this story is collateral damage, so long as they have the narrative. And Piers, you have a son, you have children. Demanding severe retribution against a child for a school playground dispute is unforgivable.
Yes.
You sit there and you preach. You preach against us. You make your accusations against me. Never have I labelled Muslim children as vermin. Never have I demanded my followers to commit severe retribution against anybody. And this is what the media, the politicians and the celebrities created, aided and abetted by the left-wing activism and the selective indignation of Islam. Hypocrites out there might say, who cares? That's what he deserved, right? Imagine for one moment if I had incited violence against a young Muslim lad in the reversal of this situation. And you see, in a district where a generation of young girls have been raped, these threats are far from empty.
What do you think, if you were working in the school at that time, what do you think what the media done?
I think the media fucking blew out of fucking proportion and what fucking waterboarding at all.
I know. But then the media run that Jamal was being bullied. Like,
you see, he used to complain that he used to be bullied. There was another, I think, Kirkley's guy that came, that Jamal said somebody gonna knife him or something. I think that should be on record.
Yeah.
I think when we investigated, I think it was a lot of bollocks.
I'm gathering that by reading the school records. That he made accusations, and then when they're investigated,
and there were a lot of bollocks.
It lied.
Yeah.
Now ITV, Piers Morgan, you used your platform to incite hatred of a young child. No time for facts or the inconvenient truth. Surely you must have known the truth, because within a few hours of the story breaking, I was receiving dozens of messages from parents, pupils and staff saying there was much more to the story than met the eye. So I did what any journalist could have done, should have done. I asked questions. Were you just being lazy? Was it willful blindness? Or are you just incompetent, Piers? And the BBC's Jeremy Vine, to you personally, was it clinical cowardice? After all, you didn't reveal the white boy's name. You just told everyone where to find it, on Twitter. Were you afraid of being sued? Although it wouldn't have been the BBC licence fee payers picking up your legal bills, would it? Or was this your Pontius Pilate moment, condemning a child whilst washing your hands of any responsibility? Because that's what you did, and you didn't seek the truth either. Piers, Jeremy, your lazy, inept reporting was not without consequence, as we will see. You incited hatred, you succeeded, and that's contempt. Your actions, not Bailey's, led to Bailey and his family being driven from their home in the middle of the night, like the very refugees you claim you care about. The hate you incited was off the scale. Men with machetes had arrived at the school. Gangs were roaming the streets looking for Bailey. West Yorkshire Police told Bailey's mum that the terrorism threat had been raised to red. They had intelligence of people coming from Bradford to get Bailey and his family. Rather than deal with the threat, they moved Bailey and his family to a place of safety. So, whilst one child had the support of the whole country, had the support of the Prime Minister, Sajid Javid, the local football club, everyone rallying behind this child, £160,000 donated to him. The other child, in this incident, his family were driven from their home, threats, groups of men looking for him, ready to commit violence against him. And the police stopped the mum. So the police took the family, the police went and got the family to get them out of their house through imminent danger. And they were taking them to relocate them here. Let's have a look. The Night Inn. This is the accommodation that Bailey's mother, with 2 9-year-old sisters and children, were being relocated to. This 1-star hotel, where rooms are rented by the hour, next door to a brothel. The imam, who brought a mob of men up to the school, he has 3 mosques within a stone's throw of where we're standing now. Bailey's mother, through her sense, looked up this hotel, saw it was owned by Muslims, read the reviews that it's a prostitute racket drug hole, yeah, and got out of the police meat wagon with her children to take them to safety herself. But this is where Kirklees Council were housing those children and that family. This is the most Muslim populated area of Leeds. That family were taken to so-called safety, yeah, surrounded by mosques in what is a Muslim ghetto, yeah, which is why I'm getting bibbed and going to get some cause a scene now.
We went to see from neighbours what it was like at the time of the incident.
I think it was a BMW X5, and there were about 6 Asian lads in it, and they threatened to firebomb the house.
God.
Yeah. They also they threatened to shoot her. They threatened
To shoot the mum.
The mum. They threatened to rape kids.
Well, they come outside and done all that.
They shouting, screaming.
Shouting, screaming.
And stuff like that.
Well, I saw the video because a neighbour had shared it. And then I saw on the Yorkshire Live them making Bailey out to be really horrible and that Jamal was a poor little victim, and it wound me up. So I commented on it. The victim wasn't a victim. He hit me in the back with a hockey stick. And then within the space of 2 hours, I had about 250 comments saying that I was lying, that I must have been excluded from the school because I'm a liar. Just horrible comments like that. None of them believe in me.
And did you take this? Did you take the comment down?
Yeah, I didn't want to, but my mum was worried for repercussions, so she asked me to take it down, so I did.
This is the hotel. This is, I believe, a 4-star hotel. They're totally full of illegal immigrants. This is across the country. So the point to make is that illegal immigrants come here, young fighting age men, not families, not children. And this is where councils house them. Let's have a look. Hello, boys. How you doing? Do you mind if I ask, what country are you from, lads?
I do not speak English.
No, you do speak English. Just what country are you from?
Iran.
Iran? Yeah. Iran, okay. Yeah, Kurdistan, Iran. Okay, no, that's cool, man. I'm just seeing. Is the hotel full? Yeah. Yeah, full. You enjoying it here? Yeah.
Nice hotel, nice food.
Nice hotel, nice food.
Yeah, healthy food.
Healthy food. It looks like a nice hotel. Yeah, how many people are in here?
I think we're 200.
200. Lots of children?
Oh, my eye problem, I think it have the little children.
No children?
Oh, my no children.
No, not many children, no. But it's a nice hotel. Nice hotel. It is a nice hotel. And if you look at where the other family were being housed in Beeston, and you compare it to this 4-star hotel, nice food, as our friend says. Healthy food. Yeah, right. Hello, bro.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, do I come back in?
Yeah, we're off now, mate. We're done now.
That's nice.
Yeah. Do you know what they have in here? They have a full-time doctor and nurses, full-time stationed in here. Full-time. So you know when you can't, my dad tried to get a doctor's appointment earlier. Couldn't get one. Full-time. Full-time.
Fucking
the food's bad. The food's bad. Is it free? Yeah,
unbelievable, isn't it, Mo?
Isn't it?
I had governors who had friends in the media.
Yeah.
Who tried to explain to them.
There's a lot more to this.
All of that, and the Ofsted, and the whole shebang. But it was never picked up.
Apart from my reporting, there was not a single media statement giving the other side of this story. The staff knew, other pupils knew. They could have exposed the lie. Why didn't they?
Yeah.
They were either not free to tell you the truth, or they were terrified of the consequences. And that's for so-called journalists. Some can't find the truth. Some won't tell the truth. And some, they're afraid of the truth. But me, as a journalist, it's my job
to present you the truth.
If you want my honest opinion, they said, get up there, this is, I don't know who they is, get up there and shut that school. Get up there and get rid of this.
You see, when the media and politicians decide to kill a story, when they decide to hide the truth from you, they'll do whatever it takes. They shut down the school. It's gone. Everyone lost their jobs. You see, once this lie about a racist attack had gone global, the truth could never be allowed to come out. The real truth, that a young Syrian refugee was struggling to fit into his new environment, was problematic. His allegedly abusive and violent conduct towards teachers and children was allowed to run unchecked. Why? Did the school authorities turn a blind eye rather than be accused of victimising the boy, of being racist towards him? They stayed silent. The truth may have triggered accusations of racism or sparked discussion about immigration policies. The challenges of achieving the successful integration of migrants we welcome into the United Kingdom. And the need to take those challenges seriously. You see, Jamal was one of 20,000 Syrian refugees who come to the UK as part of the United Nations resettlement programme. The government could not allow their policies to be examined and the consequences and their incompetence to be exposed. And if you don't think the government is incompetent, you ain't been paying attention to anything. Priti Patel's been talking tough, really tough, on controlling our borders for years. And yet we have boatloads of illegal economic migrants being escorted across the English Channel and put into these luxury accommodation at your expense. This ineptitude does nothing for the refugees who come here legally, who we welcome into England. Refugees who are trying to integrate and make a new life here. And who was the community's rage directed at? All Syrian refugees. That's who. When in fact, there are many families of Syrian refugees in the area. We're told, all of them delightful, working hard to settle and integrate into the country they can now call home. I spoke to multiple refugee families.
In the school problem, my children, no any problem.
No problems with your children. No, that's it. So you've had a good experience in the school.
Yeah. I used to have two friends, and they don't bully, and they don't care where from country I come or anything.
Okay.
And when I talk English, like we was about 1 month we've been in here, and I used to not to speak English very much. So they used to tell me how to speak all that thing, and now I'm in year 8 and I know how to speak English, and I made more friends, and now like I'm fine.
And you're fine, and then no problems.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe at school. Sometimes I say to my dad, I don't want to go to school anymore. I was just crying, and I didn't do nothing because I respect the school rules.
Who told Jamal to go on camera and say this? Who arranged the media tour? Who encouraged him to take legal action? He was originally going to sue the school for not looking after him, and then decided to sue me instead. Who told him to put this in his statement to the High Court? You see, Jamal doesn't like to break the school rules. Here's the problem. This is his behaviour record. Almost 100 codes for bad behaviour. Truancy, verbal abuse to teachers, physical violence towards pupils, and lying. Yeah, there's plenty for lying. You see, I haven't got all of Jamal's school records. Large sections of documents I was given were blacked out. We tried to get access, but we weren't allowed. And the lawyers wrote to the court to explain they had misplaced documentation. And finally, as you can hear, the lawyers decided what they were going to allow me to see. Whilst I was preparing my defence, Jamal's lawyers decided what I could see. And this global news story wasn't an accident. It was all carefully planned. You see, the day before the video went viral, a GoFundMe page was set up for Jamal. And the video went viral the day after a criminal record check come back on Jamal. Why would his lawyers do a criminal record check? Well, they had to make sure this was financially beneficial exercise, wasn't going to be derailed by an unhelpful past. 15-year-old Jamal, his record was clean, by the way. Mohammed Akunji, the jihadist lawyer of choice, was immediately on a global media blitz.
Listen, about Akunji himself, I'm after him for my own reason.
Right, okay. Nothing sinister though, is it?
Oh, fuck, no, journalistic.
Oh, journalistic, oh, that's good.
Oh, no, fucking totally journalistic. I want to get all the background on him. You reckon he was a member of that?
Yeah.
Al Midra Haroon are a prescribed terrorist organisation. Almost 60% of terrorists in British prisons are ex-members of this organisation. They kill, they murder, they slaughter. That is the organisation that Mohammed Akunji and his brother were allegedly, according to this top mainstream Muslim British journalist, they were members of it.
How does a Syrian lad find himself working with a jihadist lawyer of choice before this video even went out? Before anyone has seen this viral video, within 2 weeks, the lawyers had been made the beneficiaries of the GoFundMe page of £160,000. A plan to sue the school, that's put on hold, and the plan to sue moi for libel was launched. What riches had these lawyers promised Jamal and his family? School records were edited. Migration Yorkshire clamoured to make this playground fight about race and hate. They contacted the Home Office as soon as they heard about this playground fight. Yeah, the Home Office, a playground scuffle. Why are they contacting the Home Office instantly? Someone went further. You see, we had this school incident report analysed by a graphologist, someone who analyses handwriting. It appears to show that a second person with very different handwriting doctored the report to allege that Bailey had threatened to stab Jamal.
Wow.
Even though all the witness reports mentioned there was only one teacher there. So only one teacher could have done an incident report. So, with the careful planning, the jihadist's favourite lawyer, and the enthusiastic support of some useful idiots, it was possible for the lies to go round the world twice before the truth had had a chance to put its pants on. I now need to mention other repercussions of what happened in Almonbury. I was being sued for reporting the things that were said to me about Jamal. I had to defend myself. The judge had already ruled that I was not allowed to argue it was in the public's interest for people to hear a different perspective of Jamal. I had to prove that the information reported to me was true. That's not the kind of burden placed on Piers Morgan or Jeremy Vine. Piers can describe Bailey as vermin without being held to account. And who is behind propagating this deception and the lawsuit against me? You see, this is where we get to meet the most sinister part of the unholy alliance. All sorts of people are helping out, but leading the posse from the front, it's the jihadist lawyer of choice. He represented Shamina Begum. You know, the jihadi terrorist?
Unbelievable.
Out in Syria. He represented, I think, Michael Adebolajo, Lee Rigby's killer. I think he's even had to change his name because he's got such a terrible track record. So this is the lawyer who's suing me and who the media celebrated that he had served me papers, even though I wasn't in the country. If you've pillaged, if you've plundered, if you've raped and you've beheaded, and you say you've done it in the name of Islam, well, these are the lawyers for you. The lawyers who stepped forward for ISIS-Bide Shamina Begum, who've been fighting to get her back into our country, who defended Michael Adebolajo, who beheaded Lee Rigby. This is Mohammed Akunji and his colleague, Farouk Basra, who's been banned from claiming legal aid. Yeah, banned from claiming legal aid for putting in fraudulent expense claims. Let me rewind a bit. Let's go back a few weeks. There's an important piece of background information to this.
Don't know the full ins and outs of it, but basically to inform that a group call themselves Antifa UK.
Yeah.
Heard of them?
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of haven't. And Antifa Dundee, it basically says I'm planning to hurt or possibly kill Tommy Robinson.
Antifa
Because they know where he
Dundee.
lives, I want to silence him. They've got their hands on. It says they've got hands on some
Scottish
AK-47s,
connections, are you?
petrol
The thought
bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
And allegedly said they're going to put these petrol bombs through your door when he sleeps. They say they're also planning to attack a few MPs.
Now, at the heightened tensions with multiple Osman warnings, they now take back the radar phone, the one option we have to go direct to the police, and they are removing it at this current moment.
Can we stop a minute?
Yeah.
So I remember this. When he was getting the most of his threats is when they turned up and took all his safety gear off him.
Yes.
I remember this. And they tried to make him sign a non-disclosure. Do you remember that as well, Moon?
Yes.
And then they said that they tried to make him sign something to say that if anything happened to him, they were not responsible. Do you remember that as well, Moon?
Yes.
And he refused to sign them all.
Exactly.
Isn't it interesting that they're talking about Antifa Dundee?
Yeah.
when we've noticed that there is a lot of a lot of these sort of connections from up north that are involved in all this bullshit. Very interesting.
Yes, it is. Shocking.
But anyway, let's carry on.
Where are you from? I'm from the counter-terrorism policing unit that Carla works with. So Carla and I work very closely together.
So look, what did you just say? Basically, the radar phone or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the phone, the emergency phone.
We'll be taking that back.
You'll be taking that back.
Yeah, those phones are
useful
for.
Are you for real? Like, so when there's a heightened threat and people have come to the house and the address has been put out where my kids are, you're then going to take the panic phone back.
It's Christmas 2018. The police come to my family's home to tell me that people in Antifa, far left violent extremist organisation, are planning to kill me and my family. See, they were the first to comment on this video.
Yeah, that was his first Osman warning. I think.
And that was the year they went to his house and they hung a flag on the gates. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to let him know that they knew where he lived and they'd got him. Yeah. To
Yes.
intimidate. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
Well, Mohammed Akunji of Farouk Basra & Co. Of course, the jihadis' lawyers of choice, but also Mike Stutchbury, an independent journalist, an Antifa activist.
Yes.
So the jihadist lawyers knew Antifa were planning to kill me, then actually commented on the video of the Osman warning. You see, what happened next is interesting, although not interesting to the Solicitors Regulation Authority or the Law Society, the people who should be interested in the integrity of our lawyers.
It will be live streamed. I'm not in charge of the filming or anything like that. That's down to the guys over here. And yeah, literally nobody wanted to do this, so we thought, what mug can we find who would agree to this?
So two lawyers who know Antifa are planning to kill me seek out an Antifa extremist, hire him for one day, just one day, and send him to live stream the serving of papers
They even
to my
called him
home,
a mug themselves.
my family's home. Papers which had already
Yeah.
been served, by the way, with a gang. When my wife and children were there, when they knew I was abroad, lawyers commissioned the Antifa extremist to broadcast my home address in order, as they put it, to cause a spectacle.
The law firm or the lawyer who's been, sort of taking the lead on the Tommy case wanted to make sure, doubly sure that A, Tommy got the letter, actually went out two different ways, and he wanted to make a bit of a spectacle out of it. And this is all very amusing.
A group supported by Mike Stutchbury
Here he
came
is.
to the home that my wife and children.
And that Stutchbury, oh my God, it was on Twitter and the shit and lies that it used to come out with.
Yep.
And Tommy doorstepped him. He only knocked on his door and Stutchbury hid under the table. He shit himself and then he upped sticks and he moved to Germany where, he was
And
happy.
this bloke here is who Apple Charlotte was a mod for. This bloke here with the red hair.
Is this 6 clips then, this guy?
No. She was mod for this one as well.
Oh, fuck.
Neuro.
Okay.
What's his
Right.
name?
Oh.
Nemo.
Yeah.
Neuro.
Nemo.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Because she didn't like Tommy, did she?
Nope.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Were in on a Sunday afternoon when I wasn't even in the country. So let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, who calls himself a journalist, who promoted this event, who shared it and encouraged it, who found it amusing that my wife was so scared she had to ring the police. My wife has been sat down and told in her home that Antifa are planning to kill her. They're planning to kill our family and harm our family. She's been told that she may get acid in her face. Well, how do you think she felt on a Sunday afternoon whilst my children are playing outside on their bikes? To be told that Antifa were on their way to our home. Let's have a look at Mike Stutchbury, the man that sent them.
Look at it.
Here he is self-admitting that he is part of Antifa. Here he is promoting violence against his opposition. Punch them, punch them, punch them. Here he is hoping that buses full of Antifa get shipped in to smash people's skulls in. Here he is calling for white genocide.
Yeah.
Mike Stuchbury is an extremist. He's a far left extremist who currently is playing a victim. He encouraged people to come.
But do you know what, Dupes? With all that, and I saw all of that this pig
did
put
I.
up, he never got banned from Twitter. He never got silenced. He fucked off in the end to Germany, where his grandmother lived, because he preferred it there.
And he's an ex-teacher as well.
Well,
because he was a
yeah.
racist pretending to be far left. He incited the far left to hatred. So just like we had the infiltrators at the other end from the far right, we had the far left infiltrators. These people actually are all just Nazis.
He lost his teaching job, and he also then went on to lose his oh God, I can't think of the word. He lost that anyway. So he started just using his activism, going around reporting on absolute bullshit. Bullshit. He was seen out with some of the top reporters, grassing up. And he ended up, he made an absolute tit of himself. And he had to leave. Horrible fat bastard.
He was, yeah.
And he sent people and was part of an organisation that communicated together to send people to the home where my wife and children were when I wasn't there. He even crowdfunded to support them in their action.
He was looking at various people, and eventually he sort of came on to Dick Coughlin. Dick Coughlin, I can't say it properly. Who is a YouTuber who has made videos about Tommy for almost 10 years, I think. He's a real critic.
There you go, 10 years.
Yeah,
checked him out, but he's a funny guy. He's sort of, got red hair. He calls he's an ex-crackhead basically.
There you go.
And who is this Antifa extremist hired to come to my kids' home?
Yeah.
Keep watching.
Okay, folks, we're here in Salso. I'm about to, me and Murphy are about to pop on.
Here he is, the wanker. Look at the way he walks.
Yeah.
I went up to where,
his arse.
and they said, right, we'll take that from him, we'll make sure he gets it.
And later that night, the Antifa extremists hired by their lawyers had a message for me and my children.
And on that note, on that happy note. Oh, by the way, Tommy, I am gonna mince your kids, mate.
So look at the man that they sent.
Look at the state of it.
The
Stop
man
there.
that you can see the Muslim lawyer handed.
Take that picture back.
Privileged document.
What's all that noise?
That's easy.
Sorry, I thought I didn't.
For me and my children.
And on that note, on that happy note. Oh, by the way, Tommy, I am gonna mince your kids, mate.
So look at the man that.
Look at it. Look at that docile. Look at the swastika on the walls. Yeah, apparently they're all about fighting racism, weren't they, these solicitors and everything else? But they employed a racist.
Yeah.
And this man was pretending to be far left. This is like the great fucking unwashed, this is another one. State of it.
Yeah, and it's funny that certain ones on here have actually been attracted to
These kind of
Romans
people.
like that. Yeah.
He's actually wearing frilly knickers there, by the way.
Yeah.
This man put it out all over live streams that he was going to get hold of Tommy's wife and kids and fuck them in their skulls.
Fucking disgusting.
Nothing was ever done.
But I don't know. I know, but I don't know why no one ever got hold of him. This is what I don't get. Because in my day, if somebody had said that about me and my kids, my husband would have put their fucking head in. And not just my husband, the friends, family, everyone.
Yeah, but
He wouldn't have been mincing
because he would
anyone.
have got locked up for it, wouldn't he?
Yeah, but in those, this is why times have changed. You know, you cannot make comments like that. It would come under provocation, Dukes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your kids threaten to be minced, your kids and your wife threaten to have their skulls fucked, that's provocation.
Yeah. And this is why we've got all these crackheads online. Yeah?
Yeah.
The same sort of fucking caliber as this cunt here. Going around
Yes.
thinking they're hard.
Yes, laying
I'd
in
love
bed
to
all
give this
day.
cunt a swift kick up the bollocks. Telling you.
Laying in bed all day. The system feeding them. Addicted to their fucking painkillers and everything else. They're all the same ilk, Jupiter.
And it's all
All of
normal
them.
normal people that are not racist, that have been branded the fucking racists. Meanwhile, they're working with the racists. Remember, this bloke meant to be a figurehead for the far left, but he's a Nazi. Remember what I've been telling people for years? You go far enough on the left, you're a Nazi.
You're a
You go
Nazi.
far enough on the right, you're a Nazi.
Yep.
This is the group, all that group over there on them 2 channels with the fucking mad woman who's a schizophrenic, who's blind but sees everything. That's what they all are. Let's play on.
They sent the man that you can see, the Muslim lawyer, handing privileged documentation, giving this man my children's home address.
The lawyer in this case was a guy called Mohammed Sanimi Akundra, who works for a solicitors in London called, I shit you not, Farouk Bajwa and Co. Solicitors of London. I get asked by this guy that they've decided that they're going to, Tommy Robinson is going to be served legal papers so he can be sued by this family. And they asked me, do I want to be the one to go along to serve the legal documents?
Let's have a look at who Dick Coughlin is. Let's look at some of the things he said. Here he is promoting hatred against black people. Serious, this is a crime. The comments he makes are a crime. Here he is promoting hatred against Pakistanis. Here he is singing a song promoting anti-Semitism, singing a song about lampshades being made out of Jewish people's skin from the Holocaust.
Third right, you're a good killer kite. We're white, far right, and we're gonna have a fight. You're in the outskirts, you can go in the gas chamber, then we'll throw you in the pit. We're just following orders, man. We're trying to get paid. You might get out of here, but you'll be a lampshade.
A self-confessed racist, anti-Semitic crackhead was sent to my children's property. He talked about raping my wife in her skull socket. He talked about my children being fed through a meat grinder. He talked about burning my house down whilst masturbating with my family in it. Now, other than to terrorise my wife and children,
I just want to say that all of those things that he showed there are absolute kosher evidence because I saw them in real time being posted by that cunt.
Yeah.
And was arguing with him on Facebook. So I can verify that they're not mocked up. I actually saw those posts and argued with that fucking cunt, Neuro, sorry. I always call him Nemo. Go on.
why would any sane person do this? It worked, okay? Tipped off by a friend who saw the gang on live stream approaching, my ex-wife hit the panic button and barricaded herself and our children in a bedroom. The police thankfully responded in time. And these are exactly the same tactics being used against the unbelievably courageous children.
That was the other thing, Moon. Stop.
Threats of violence and rape against.
When they did this, they gave instructions for when the bloke should go there. They knew that Tommy was not in
When
the country.
he was away. Yes.
They knew Tommy was not in the country. They chose maximum effect when they knew he wouldn't be there to attack his wife and kids.
Yes. Yeah.
As
Fucking
well.
cowardly, dirty scum. But it's all been covered up and silenced, isn't it?
Yep.
Children who are willing to stand with me in defence of the truth at the High Court of London. The video release, media, GoFundMe, Antifa, it all happened at the same time. It was coordinated, and it was about hate and making money. And how that far left activist, who appears to be an anti-Semitic, Jew-hating, black-hating racist, came to my home with his gang and threatened to kill my children. These lawyers, the mainstream media, they don't care about refugees. They don't care about Jamal. They don't care about the truth.
Say that bloke who made the video saying he's going to kill the kids. Yeah. Can you, if you didn't do it, I know 100%. Give a statement. I know I was there.
Okay.
Give a statement about that. She complained about it. She contacted. We'll remember. It would have been the liaison officer at the time to ask if he was arrested. I found out his address and I gave you all the information for him. So even now, say now, looking at that, can he be arrested now then?
I don't know what happened with the previous report, because when we search on our system that we currently use,
He probably got buried.
I can't see any crime report that was linked to it.
You see, the next day, knowing I'd been provoked with threats against my ex-wife and my children, no doubt thinking they would catch me conspiring to commit violence and lock me up on a conspiracy charge. Here, outside my ex-wife's house, men in a car that has never been registered, check the registration plate. So presumably from the security services, with listening devices recording what's being said in my home. The involvement of the security services may explain why Dick Coughlan, the man who publicly threatened to murder my children, has never even been spoken to or arrested, despite my wife's complaints.
What are you doing? Show me who's in the back of your car.
There's no one in the back of the car.
So what are you doing then?
We're not here anything to do with you.
What are you doing then?
What do you think we're doing?
I think you're starting doing me.
No, listen,
Who's just work for? So what are you doing? And there is someone in the back. I know there's someone in the back. So what are you doing here? I don't know who you are. That's what I want you to tell me. Tell me what you're doing. You tell me what you're doing. Because essentially, I've got threats against me. I know you. Yeah? So what are you doing here? If I turn it off, you're going to tell me what you're doing. Who's in the back of your car? Who's in the back of your car? You're not going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. I'm not moving. Let me see who's in the back of your car. Tell me what you're doing in my house. I want to know what you're doing, bro. That's all I want to know is what you're doing. I've got police officers sat with a recording in a recording van. In the back of this van is a recording station. I'm not standing. You're not going. No, because what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. They're sat in the back of their van. This is recording devices. The whole of this back thing, because he just opened it up when I got him out. The whole of this back thing is recording where they're pointing there because what this is has been a setup. These people are these police officers setting me up. Setting me up. It's a setup. They're setting me up by sending people to my house because they think I'm going to react and do something, and they're recording it with listening devices. I checked the vehicle registration plate outside the house on the government website, and there's no such vehicle.
Let's not forget the politicians, our fearless leaders. It was only when I went alone.
Now you can understand why there's idiots like Simon, Plisco, and all the other fucking cunts doing what they're doing online and thinking they can get away with it with impunity, sending emails saying they'll get you swatted and all the rest of it that they do in the background. Meanwhile, the innocent people are being dragged into police stations on stuff that they haven't done. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
To the home of self-declared journalist Mike Stutchby to ask him why he had done what he had and why he thought it was funny to intimidate my children.
Some of you may have seen that people have been outside my home, intimidating my family.
The difference is when they come to my home, 5 men come to my home. I'm on my own. I've had to move my children who are scared and upset. And people encouraged people to participate in coming to my address. One of those such people who... It was only then that the fearless then deputy leader of the Labour Party, Tom Watson, steps forwards, ignoring reality completely.
Every major social media platform other than YouTube has taken down Stephen Yaxley Lennon's profile because of his hateful conduct. Late on Monday night, Yaxley Lennon turned up at a journalist's home, banging on the doors and windows, demanding to be let in. And after being escorted away by the police, he returned at 5 a.m. and continued his intimidation. The incident was live streamed. He later warned journalists in a YouTube video to expect a knock at the door. Does the Secretary of State think that it's right that YouTube and the parent company Alphabet continues to give this man a platform, sir?
It'd be funny, you know, if it wasn't so insidious. The hardly honourable Mr. Watson totally misrepresented what had happened, and from behind his shield of parliamentary privilege, bravely declared that I'd been terrorising a journalist. Journalist? Stutchbury's an Antifa activist who incites violence and wants to kill white people. Terrorising. Was I terrorising? Mr. Watson bravely demanded that I be removed from YouTube. YouTube had only recently confirmed that none, not one, of my videos had broken any of their stringent guidelines. And my videos hadn't broken any laws. It was clear I hadn't harassed anyone, certainly not Mike Stutchbury, if indeed he is a journalist. But none of that mattered. My wife and children left their family home that night. They never went back. Thanks to having their lives endangered by the jihadist lawyers. See, my wife started legal action against Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa's firm. But Mo & Co, Mohammed Akunji and Farouk Bajwa, see, they weren't so keen on facing the law as they were on abusing the law to persecute others for financial and ideological reasons. On the 31st of March 2019, they promptly collapsed their law firm. They'll never be involved in the case. That's what they said. And Dr. Farouk Bajwa, well, he's no longer going to be a lawyer. He'll be living in Pakistan. That's it. That's what they said. That's how easy it was for Mo & Co to escape justice. Interestingly, they're still signing documents on the case on the 6th of June, months after saying they're not involved. Several other law firms have reported them to the Law Society, the body that is supposed to make sure lawyers behave ethically. Nothing's been done. I wonder why. In fact, all the lawyers working at Farouk Bajwa & Co just moved across to a new law firm called Burlington's. And guess what? Yeah. Burlington's took on Jamal's case against me. Farouk Bajwa now works for Burlington's. Farouk Bajwa's son now works for Burlington's. Farouk Bajwa is Burlington's GDPR expert. Pretty ironic, no? Farouk Bajwa & Co leaked my children's address to an Antifa activist to put it online for everyone. And if we've been stupid enough to expect more ethical behaviour from Burlington's than from Farouk Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji, well, we'd have been disappointed.
How come Farouk Bajwa signed a form 3 months after he left them to do this case?
It's absolutely. It was. If that was the case, it was before I gave the undertaking, and he wasn't involved in this case at all.
He signed a form dated June. In June, he signed a form, and the date on that form that he signed is June. He left this case in March, apparently. How come?
Well, if you send it through to me, I'll have a look and I'll give you an explanation as to why. I'm not quite sure what form you're talking about.
No, you'll see it on my documentary.
Okay, so when you send me what you decide is relevant, yeah, how am I going to know what you've cut out?
Well, I suppose you would have.
Then 2 days ago, Mohammed Akunji doxed my mother and father's house. Last night, that house at 1 o'clock in the morning was smashed to pieces with bricks through the windows. Yeah, this is all going on in the background. I've been trying to get my stuff ready, but just so that you're aware of what's going on as to why I don't trust a word you say. When you have Farouk Bajwa's son working for your company, and Farouk Bajwa is the man that sent people to threaten to kill my children, I'm wondering why in the last 48 hours or last 72 hours, since I disclosed information to you,
why my family and loved ones have come under persecuted harm, of which is all detailed with police records and video footage of everything that's been going on. So, and you've covered up things which, and Luke, Francesca told me, I have a recording of her telling me that Burlington's did not redact anything. Yet in court, you had to admit you did. I've got the recording of her telling me it. Everything was redacted prior to coming to you. Everything was redacted prior to coming to you. And then in court, you sit and admit that you have been redacting things. So forgive me, it's just lie after lie.
This is Burlington's lawyers losing documents that they're supposed to send to me and deleting things that they don't want me to see. Misplaced. How do you misplace documents that were electronically filed on their case management system at Farouk Basra & Co, then passed over to Burlington's? So now he knows that it's going to land on his lap, the whole lie that they've told, and this is the actions they use. Can't play the man, so they play the kids and the family. You don't need to be scared, Sonia, because they're doing
Sounds
this.
familiar.
Me to goodbye.
Yeah, I know, babe, but they're purposely just doing that.
How long got my number?
But when they're doing this, they're just doing this to try and cause me shit and make you worry. So I know it's easier said, but you don't need to worry. Yeah, they're doing this so that I don't beat them in court. That's why they're doing this. Yeah. And
Do you think they do know where we live?
No, mate.
Danny Barker rang me saying if anyone turns up to the house, just ring him in and come in a minute.
Yeah, he will, mate. Yeah, it's me. Oh, mate.
Alright, cool.
Wow. Dupes.
It's unbelievable. So Tommy's
American
kids don't
is.
matter,
The whole
no?
time this goes
White
on.
kids don't matter. White girls don't matter. White boys don't matter. Mixed race kids don't matter because Bailey's little brother and little sisters were mixed race. Because it all
Yeah.
don't fit the political agenda.
Quite
That's
gutting, isn't it?
unbelievable.
I haven't seen this part, any of this end bit.
The media and all of them act like we're the bad guys. That we've been, like I'm the one persecuting people or targeting them. And they're such cowards. They're such cowards, man. I just got a phone call and they said goodbye. I'm so scared. I've told the police, but I'm so scared.
Hello?
Jenna, who's just rung Spencer?
We don't know at the minute.
What are the police saying?
I'm just making a statement.
Okay, but just quickly, what are they getting that account? Let's put a picture of you online. Who showed you that picture, Jenna?
It's on Twitter.
Yeah, who
I saw it
found?
myself.
You saw it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Are the police sorting out to get rid of it?
Yeah, they've taken the address of the Twitter person that's put it out.
If you can say, I've given them 50 addresses of people who have done exactly this over the years, including the redhead man. What about the redhead bloke who threatened to kill the kids? What they said about that?
Well, nothing really.
No, it's a crime. Do you know what I mean? If I make a video threatening to kill some kids, I'll be arrested. So the point, what you need to ask them specifically and say to them, you made a complaint, someone threatened to murder your children, you had to leave your home. Yeah, those threats have now followed you to where you're now living. Yeah, and they're coming from the same people, the same organisations, the same people they done fuck all about last time. They didn't nick them. They didn't speak to them. The solicitor's still acting with impunity, doing it to my mum and dad yesterday. So you need to specifically ask them, Jen, I want to answer out of them. When you made a complaint against Richard Coughlin, Dick Coughlin last year, why have they not done anything? And give us and get you a follow-up and an answer as to why they haven't done anything, if you can. And make are the kids all right? Am I right that you managed to track the number?
Yes.
So you know who made those phone calls to her and was.
We know where the number came from,
Yep.
and who that phone was registered to. So that's what obviously we cannot prove. Well, I at that time I wasn't able to prove who. I only could say where the number came from.
As in whose phone it is.
Who the phone is registered to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously for me, this was threatening phone calls a week before a high court trial, trying to pervert the course of justice. How come no one's been arrested?
I can't see anything on the crime report.
If I send you evidence, which I'm going to anyway, because it's all going to the judge, if I send you evidence of Mohammed Akunji doxing my mum and dad's address, if I send you evidence of criminal damage and attacks in the middle of the night at an old pensioner's home, and I show you evidence of pictures of my wife being put on, ex-wife being put online, and my son, they rang my 11-year-old son's phone. The police were all involved. They've been threatening my 11-year-old son. Yeah, this is what's gone on. If I send you evidence of that, do you think you'll support an anonymity order to protect the children in this case?
I don't have instructions to answer that. I don't have conduct of the matter.
Unfortunately, in terms of integrity, Burlingtons don't appear to be any better than Farouk Bajwa and Mohammed Akunji. You see, I was told he'd violently attacked a girl. I was told he'd attacked someone as part of a gang. And I was told he'd threatened to stab someone. In fact, Jamal had violently attacked more than one girl. And we presented the evidence to the court, including the testimony of courageous children who came to court. These children weren't Tommy Robinson fans, but they came to the High Court to speak the truth.
So let me just look at one of the pupils that come to court and testified. This young girl wasn't a supporter of mine, didn't support my politics, but she still came to court and testified. Let me have a look at her school record and read what her teacher says about her. Charlie is a very mature and hardworking member of the Forum. She has been an absolute pleasure to have in the Forum. She has represented the Forum in the school council and in various events across the school throughout the school year. She represents all that is positive and exciting about studying at Almonbury. Charlie is now currently studying law at university. Why would this girl randomly lie, before I was involved? Why would she then travel to the High Court of London and commit perjury? Because that is what the judge has found, that she's made it all up. And Jamal, the Syrian refugee, the one with multiple lies on his school records and behavioural disciplinaries everywhere, he was telling the truth. That is what he found in this
Unbelievable.
Case. Why would a mother post images and send me those images of her daughter beaten black and blue? Why? For what reason? Why would the staff lie? Why would the head teacher lie? Why would every single person who was recorded covertly lie about what Jamal was like? 12 different people lying about what Jamal was like. Why? You see, the judge has really helped us out here. The judge says people can lie for reasons that make no sense. Sometimes for no reason at all. He could not readily identify any explanation for why some of these people were prepared to do so and lie. He concludes the alleged assaults, they never happened at all. Despite Jamal's school record, which you've seen, the judge states the claimant's record is overwhelmingly positive. He acknowledged Jamal has a record of lying, but decides on this occasion it's Jamal who's telling the truth, and everyone else is lying. Really? We waited 10 weeks for this? That's your conclusion? That's the logic from the highest libel judge in our land? There was no jury. That's right, there's no jury. All of these people were lying. But Jamal, he was telling the truth.
What a
Jamal,
fucking
you
joke.
could only find his dad, Jihad, to speak for him. Not a single teacher, not a classmate, not a friend, not a neighbour or a support worker came to court to support Jamal's version of events. Jamal, who says he only broke the rules.
Show that judge again. Let everybody see the judge.
His fault.
Yeah.
Why? For what reason? Why would the staff lie? Why would the head teacher lie? Why would every single person who was recorded covertly lie about what Jamal was like? 12 different people lying about what Jamal was like. Why? You see, the judge.
Look at him.
Yep.
In all his glory, look at him.
Look at the piece of dog shit. Looks like Mike Stutchbury without glasses, actually. Probably all related.
Doesn't it?
Probably a nonce as well. Look at it.
Well, I wouldn't say
Would you
that.
leave
That's
your
libelous.
kids with? I wouldn't leave my kids with that. Look at it.
No,
The judge has really helped us out here. the judge said.
Well, he's obviously sat and agreed that 9-year-old girls should be raped, Jupiter.
Sick.
You know, he's obviously dismissed that and said that doesn't matter, and that it's okay for gangs of men, and including Jamal at that age, to be threatening rape on Bailey's little sisters who are 9 years old. That judge actually thought that was okay. So, yeah, it's a nonce.
Days. People can lie for reasons that make no sense. Sometimes for no reason at all.
Plus, there was no fucking lie. And the fat dickhead knows that because it was in all the school reports.
Exactly. He got bought out, didn't he? He got paid money.
Of course he did. The same as the fucking teachers did.
Or he was blackmailed. What did they have on him?
Exactly. The whole thing fucking stinks. And we would never have known this had someone not have leaked this information out.
Oh. He could not readily identify any explanation for why some of these people were prepared to do so and lie. He concludes the alleged assaults, they never happened at all. Despite Jamal's school record, which you've seen, the judge states the claimant's record is overwhelmingly positive. He acknowledged Jamal has a record of lying, but decides on this occasion it's Jamal who's telling the truth, and everyone else is lying. Really? We waited 10 weeks for this? That's your conclusion? That's the logic from the highest libel judge in our land? There was no jury. That's right, there's no jury. All of these people were lying. But Jamal, he was telling the truth. Jamal, who could only find his dad, Jihad, to speak for him. Not a single teacher, not a classmate, not a friend, not a neighbour or a support worker came to court to support Jamal's version of events. Jamal, who says he only broke the rules a few times at school, and even then, it weren't his fault. His school record suggests something very different. I want to be clear and fair to Jamal. He denies every accusation against him, completely and utterly. On the day the 5 courageous children appeared in the dock, giving testimony against Jamal, Jamal didn't even show up in court that day to face his accusers. Neither did the press. The press actually left court when the witnesses stood up to give their evidence.
Disgusting.
It's alarming to think we have this kind of intellect at the top of our judiciary. The story of these 2 children is actually a story about free speech, or the death of it. It's a story about how the mainstream media is more interested in pushing an agenda than giving you balance and truth. How it continues, despite Leveson, to act with impunity. Is the media held to account for what they report? Have Piers Morgan or Jeremy Vine been held to account? No. It's a story about how the law is being manipulated and exploited by the far left and Islamists to destroy the lives of anyone who speaks out against the accepted so-called progressive, so-called liberal narrative. Or about the poisonous influence of Islam's Sharia law in our society. Is the law fit for purpose? No. And it's a story about our government and judiciary's disdain for free speech and the truth, and the lengths that they will go to in order to silence dissent, especially with its new and increasing powers. Is our government being held accountable for its actions? No. Is the judiciary independent of political influence? You've seen all the evidence. You decide. Whether you agree with my politics is irrelevant. When dissent is crushed, free speech dies, and governments move one step closer to tyranny. The lawyers know the truth. Even Jamal's father, Jihad, he knows the truth about his son. They all knew the truth and were using Jamal to further their agenda, regardless of the consequences for Jamal. They continued to pursue the case, which incidentally has caused my divorce and bankruptcy. My ex-wife had to choose between her marriage to me and the safety of our children. I'm glad she chose our children. We're still best mates. You see, Jamal's lawyers told me very early on, if I apologised and paid them 50 grand, they'd drop their case.
Wow.
If you're watching this, you know
Exactly.
the decision I made. I won't apologise for reporting what I was told, for what I believe to be true.
Well
For
done.
standing up for Bailey,
Unapologise.
a young lad
There you go.
unjustly vilified by pretty much everyone. But in silence, in dissent, are the media.
It's a pity the teachers and the others didn't do the same, Jupiter.
Exactly.
Media and our government any different to the governments they criticise so much? China, Russia, Iran, immigration, COVID, Brexit. If it doesn't fit the narrative, you will not hear the alternative view. And where else have we seen this? Where else have the media, politicians, police and social services hidden for truth for decades, fearful of being called racist? Grooming gangs. That's where. A cover-up of such horrific cost to thousands of young girls in towns and cities across our country. And nowhere worse than under the stewardship of Councillor Shabir Pandor's Kirklees Council. You see, hiding the truth doesn't protect community cohesion. It does the total opposite. It undermines trust in public institutions. It stokes resentment and conflict in our communities. Tragically, those who lead us don't seem to have the moral clarity or courage to speak the truth. They cause the division that they're trying to prevent.
Exactly.
People ask me, was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. The truth is always worth defending. I'm still here. If you were born in the United Kingdom, you've already won the lottery of life. An inheritance from our parents and grandparents of freedom, equality under English law, and democracy. If we allow ourselves to be silenced, that inheritance is rendered worthless. What legacy will we leave for the children and grandchildren who come after us? None of us can afford to let free speech die. We cannot, and we will not, be silenced.
Well said. So,
Oh, Christ.
So my challenge to Danny Oates-Jones is when you're going to call out Jamal's grift.
Yeah. Oh, you might gone, Rick.
Oh,
If you're really about grifting,
sorry.
when
so
are you
bad.
going to call out Danny? When are you going to do it? When are you going to call out Jamal, Danny? When are you going to call out the grift?
Yeah.
So someone said that Wendy did a video or something 3 days ago calling Tommy Robinson a traitor, apparently.
Oh, listen, Jupes. If anybody takes any notice of an elderly woman who's got dementia, she's not the full shilling. I don't know why people are even still subscribed to her. I don't even talk about her because I don't believe that she's full compos mentis. So there was something to do with Tommy supports Lee Rigby's killers. So whatever she's twisted that into, she's mad.
Yeah, she's
just mad. And what she does, she then sits and relies on certain people to run around with the silly shit she's come out with. And then people like us to sit and discuss it on panels, which people are welcome to do. I'm not going to talk about her or her silly notions.
Well, the fact of the matter is that it's a propaganda hit piece to discredit his voice, which is what they do to everybody who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Just like on Dupes. Who said just like on Dupes? But yeah, no, it is a hate campaign, and that's all it is, to silence people from telling the truth. And if you put the truth out there, you will get vilified for it.
Yeah. It's fucking horrendous. So I cannot believe the rest. I mean, I watched half of it yesterday and I thought I'll leave the rest till today. But it's just shocking.
Do you know what? It doesn't surprise me with the press and that. I was thinking back years and years ago. I was in Italy, and everybody was having a good time in the street, and I saw the press going up to English fans and Italian fans and paid them and to make out they were having a fight. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me if you watch what's happened on these channels. Anyone that spoke out in support of him, they don't mind if you speak out in support of Julian Assange, but speak out in support of Tommy Robinson, and they say it's because of his politics. Well, he might be anti-Islamic, right? Scripture, he might be right against the religion. It doesn't mean he hates Muslim people as people. He's not, look, all this stuff that they do, the lengths that they go to, is absolutely filthy and disgusting. And whether you like Tommy Robinson or not, what he's just proved in that documentary should be frightening everybody. Because I could say, not to the same level as him, because I haven't had an Osman warning. That's about.
Is that you, Dan?
That's about.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, I shall be back later, peeps.
All righty, in a bit.
Wow.
See you later.
Wow.
Hang on, dude. Stay. No, we're doing the show, Dan. Come back later.
Wow. Wow.
I'm still there, dude. Oh, for fuck's sake. Jupiter, hit that link. Oh, you gone there, Teddy. Hello?
Yo, Droops, Moon, come back. I was enjoying it. Oh, yeah, by the way, wee man, when Tommy said that comment, you don't understand what he meant by that. He's not saying he flipping rates them for being brave. The abrasiveness, the fact they went and did it. It's not about brave to. When you say someone's brave, you're not giving them a credit by boosting them up by something they done. You're looking at the action and going, that was a brave move. It was a brave move. Broad daylight. For loads of people. That was a brave, bold move that's fucked up a lot of shit. So you have to understand the meaning of a word before you start taking offense to something. He didn't call it bravery.
Jupiter and Moon, can you come back, please?
That would be highlighting
it. I think
So
Dan, sorry.
Babs, you understand what time by that comment, don't you?
Well, to be honest, I didn't literally hear the whole thing, but go on, tell me, say it again, and I probably will. Yeah.
They
Go
call
on,
Lee
tell me.
Rigby's killers. He didn't exactly say it like that. But he called Lee Rigby's killers brave, admires the bravery,
Right.
and you spelled bravery wrong as well. You tick. You have to look at it, the action itself, and think about what he's actually saying. He's not giving them credit or giving them boasting their egos.
I don't actually believe that he said that. I think somebody's clipped and edited it.
No, I
couldn't
think I know
imagine
where he's
Tommy.
coming from. I think I know where he's coming from. What Tommy's
Listen,
saying.
you
I
have to
couldn't
understand
imagine
how
Tommy
language
saying
works.
something like that.
You
No,
see,
what
Torok.
Tommy's saying. At least you know
You see,
who
Torok's one of the biggest people. Always says the words, the meaning of the word.
You guys got to
Very
remember.
powerful.
Yeah, I know Tommy. Yeah, I couldn't imagine him saying anything like
Listen,
that. Honestly, I couldn't. But
the
I could
bravado
be
of those
wrong.
guys, to stab a man in broad daylight and do what they done, you have to realize, like, they threw everything away that minute. I mean, remember, we're all human beings and we all walk this earth. Everyone walks past each other.
Hang
No
on,
one does that.
hang on. Jupiter Moon, please come back.
Yeah, come back because I'm just dusting off. Yeah, no one actually goes. No normal human being does that. But these two men, for whatever reason, decide to take it cartel style in Woolwich. You've got to look at that and go, "What? Do you know what I mean?"
I
Like,
don't.
look at the
See, I
action and
don't
just
get
say
that
to yourself,
thinking.
"What the fuck?" And they
They're
like these
fucking
men are
evil fucking bastards that both
they're worse
should
than
have been
evil.
fucking shot dead.
But can you not see the insane, like, bravado of doing that? How they would just think that that's okay to do that,
No.
and they did it.
Sorry, no.
No, can you not see how the bravado behind it? There really is. They would have been told that in court as well by the judge. This is like, because it is a bold move. These guys took it back to like 700 years ago, when people used to do this to each other for no reason in the middle of London, and these guys took it there. They're savages. They're barbaric. But you gotta look at the bravado behind it and be like, I'm not going to use the word bravery. If anything, I'll say, if someone else is saying the speech like that, I can listen to it and go, you know what, I get what you're trying to say. And he's not giving them a prop for what they've done. He's just highlighting the fact these guys are abrasive as fuck.
Easy, I want to quickly make a couple of statements because I am going off. I've got other things to do today.
No, stick around.
Look, Kermit O'Grady, I want you to understand this, okay? I'm not sitting with Dan because they're making me not sit with Dan. You see, me and Moon got pushed into an impossible situation because what's happened is that even though we don't agree with the trolling that goes on towards Dan, it doesn't mean that we back up all the things that and the silly shit that Dan's done and all the silly shit that he's been and said in the past. In recent days, someone sent me a video of Dan with all the racist abuse that he was saying. Included in that was stuff against Pakistanis and people that he referred to as WOGSs.
Yep.
I don't agree with that.
No.
Right?
It's disgusting. I
can't be bothered to sit here and have another argument with him and listen to more excuses all over again.
Well,
Now-
can we
now,
say her and do the
even
documentary
though,
then?
hold on, let me finish. Even though I disagree with what he says, I could choose to sit on this fucking platform and ignore him and go on mute. But what's the point in that? I might as well fuck off. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, all the times that I've had to tolerate him on these panels, I've done it for other people because they wanted him on, not
No,
me.
but look,
I
he'll
don't
keep quiet,
platform
Drooper.
him on my
And
platform.
Drooper, you can shut him down anytime you want. He chats shit, we know that.
But people went around saying I platformed him, which was not true.
No, ignore that then. Just say, don't care what people say. It's not your channel.
Listen. It's not about what people are saying. If it was about what people were saying, I would not have pointed out for many months that they're lying about that video, in particular with the 25-year-old who was making out his wife was 13. Right? I'm not scared of anyone or anybody, but I have a right to say enough is enough. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Him doing a video and making out that me and Moon done statements for him, causing even more drama when there's a live investigation on top of that racist video that I received in this week, was just the fucking straw that broke the camel's back. Now, he aggravates me. I'm not going to bully him. I don't want to encourage other people to bully him.
Can we stick on that
right?
Tommy thing quickly?
I
Because I think
don't
it's interesting what we're coming up with right now.
speak to him no more. That is the situation,
All
Colonel.
right, cool, Trooper. But serious whole Tommy thing here. Do you think Tommy was, when he said the brave, that those guys are being brave, what they did at Rigby? He did mean that they were brave men, like, you know, I'm highlighting their bravery. Can you see what he meant by that wording?
Obviously, I understood what Tommy Robinson meant. Obviously, I understand what Wendy's doing. And obviously, Wendy is part of the group that is fucking involved with fucking Nemo and all of the others, if not directly, indirectly.
Listen, anyone who attempts an
what's
attack like
going
that,
on at the moment, but just so that people can clearly see what's going on. In the last couple of days, a gentleman drove his car into number 10's gates. It's just been announced on the news. He has been arrested for child porn images.
Christ.
What?
The same
do
person.
we believe that? Or do we think it might be a setup? Because
I don't know.
these days, we just don't fucking know.
No, but guess what? If they say they found it, they found it. And I'm not going to even question that, because that's a serious accusation. And to be honest with you, like, this is why people need to be careful of links you accept or people you chat to, because
Listen,
he might have been
if you
talking to
haven't
someone.
woken up yet, since fucking Elvis Presley to fucking Michael Jackson to fucking Tommy Robinson to fucking the ordinary citizens, the go-to has been, let's set you up for child porn and fucking paedophilia.
That's if you talk about it, and not
It's
let's real.
out of hand.
I know, but listen,
now.
okay, let's look at logic
Now
here.
I don't know what to
No,
believe
Drooper,
anymore.
I'm
No,
glad you mentioned his
obviously,
names.
I'm like you. No,
I'm
don't
glad
They've
you
done
mentioned
that
his names.
to that DJ interview as well.
But Drooper, I'm glad you
I'm
mentioned his
like a lot
names.
of people. I sit here and I think, well, hopefully the establishment are telling us the truth.
But Drooper,
But after what I've just watched,
I don't think you can trust them.
but listen,
I
I'm not
just
going to lie to you.
really
Can I
don't.
say something quickly?
I just, I don't
Elvis
know.
Presley, everybody knows, this is what you call in logic now. Elvis Presley, it's true, he was dating someone who was young at the time. In that era, it wasn't frowned upon. It is now. Michael Jackson genuinely did have young boys around him, hence why the accusations were strong. These are facts. And Tommy Robinson talks about pedophilia and grooming gangs so much that, yes, it's bound to have a little adverse effect. So let's look at it like that.
He only talks about it because he's trying to help them.
I don't need you to tell me how I should look at things. And while we're on the subject, Esau, late last night, Bleeding Heart admitted that she received an email from the person that lost Taffy his job. So, either you lot know who lost Taffy his job, or you lot were involved. Either way, I just think that people should now tell the truth, because I don't think it's fair on Taffy. I think Taffy's gone through undue stress. I'm not saying that the abuse that he gave to Babs and other people was fair. But if you know who it is, I think you should really say, because me personally, I've been saying I think it's Ghost. And if it's not Ghost, then I think the truth should be out there, because no one knows who you are, Esau. If it was you, just fucking admit it. And don't make out you're admitting it because it's a joke and that it's not really you.
Can I just say something? Yeah? Even though I don't get on with Taffy, I'm 100% behind Jupiter. If anybody, I'm not saying you, Esau, or Bleeding, or anybody, if anybody knows who it was who reported Taffy and made him lose his job, I think that whoever it is should come up and tell Taffy, because like Dupe said, even as much as I don't like Ghost is being blamed, and that's not fair if it wasn't him. Personally, I think it was, but that's just me.
Yes, there's a hell of a lot of people that think it's Ghost. And if it's not him,
It's
then
not
you should come
fair.
out and say that it's not him.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
say who it was. Because whether I like somebody or not, Esau, I don't believe in the setups. I don't. I really don't.
I do
believe in
think
falsifying
that I do
evidence.
think Taffy deserves to know. And as much as I fucking hate the cunt, yeah, I still believe that Taffy does deserve to know. Won't make him not a cunt. He'll still be a cunt, but he'll be a cunt that knows.
It won't even stop their arguing. It's obvious it won't stop their arguing. And at this point, it might as well just be admitted. To be honest, I don't even know why Taffy got chosen as the target. I don't. Especially
I
when
don't.
people could see the manipulation, that he was being pushed up front.
I don't know, hun. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know why Taffy was chosen. I still stand by what I said right from the beginning, that what Taffy said was not racist. It wasn't. You cannot
Urban,
tell
I don't
me
think I
that-
don't think Savile was set up, and I'm not saying that Michael Jackson couldn't have been fucking a paedophile, because I have seen, like he says, things that says no, they definitely were. But it just seems
Jupa,
weird
I just heard you say
lately that it's the go-to for everything. What?
Jupa, about that whole Taffy thing, yeah. You do realise we get sent random emails all the time. All the time. All the time. Just because someone sent, and sometimes they have got facts in them. Sometimes they're just garbage. This time it actually was a screenshot of what was sent. That's not anything to do with us. We didn't do that. They just wanted to show us our handiwork. I could say 10 people I think it is, but that's 10 people I'm accusing. I'm not going to do that. Because as far as I can say, he was racist and he deserved it. So what are we doing here, really?
Yeah, I know you think he deserved it. And there's a
I don't get what you all think.
There's a debate to be had whether he deserved it, whether he was foolish, whether he's responsible for what he said, whether he should have been wearing his top. That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying is there are people being accused of it, and a lot of people think that it's Ghost. And if it's not fucking Ghost and you know who it is, you should say so.
Esau, can you explain to me, hun, what bit do you think was racist? Because him saying that Bradford thinks of curry, to me, is not racist.
No, what he said, Babs, as well, he said they're like sewer rats.
I didn't hear him say that they were like sewer rats.
Like rats.
Did he say it?
Yeah, like rats. Like rats. They breed like something like that on the lines.
Right, okay.
That's why.
I don't know. I mean, like
False, I can
I
remember.
can't stand the guy, but I still don't think that what he said was racist. I really don't. But that's just me.
Anyway, you could even say who sent the email. You could give that address over, but it's up to you. All I'm saying the only point I'm making is that when there's speculation going round, right, and most people are pointing the finger at Ghost, if you know for definite it wasn't Ghost, then I think
I don't know it was Ghost. I'm not going to say it was Ghost. I'm not going to point fingers. Look, if it was, so what? Ghost is Asian. Of course, going to be 100% upset about that. Why should he not report him? He'd be silly not to. Drupal, if that was Hector and someone was saying really foul about Nigerians and we knew who they were, you and I both know the thought will cross your mind and you'd say it big and bold with your chest if you did or not. But let's just be real, like some people took offense to what he said and, If they took action, they took action. It is what it is. He's got to live with it, unfortunately. Next time, you know, when he's in work or he's driving a van, just don't hold racial views when you're like.
Yeah, but whoever it is a coward because they can't come out and admit that they done it.
No, because what if there's someone in the chat who's the silent viewer? What if it was someone like that? Because a
I
lot
don't
of them,
believe if they sent you an email, they're not a silent viewer,
they are
are
a
they?
silent viewer. Oh, they are a silent viewer. Do you know how many people send emails on people and they're just sitting there silent? Loads of them. It's not the ones that hang out, it's the ones that I listen online and get people's email addresses from listening to people online. They'll go and do the dirty work or go and do things that, you know, I anticipate they will do because they don't like people just like me. I, on the other hand, I'm not going to go and do it. It just doesn't make any sense.
Hey, Grateful Ann. Right. Can I just address something? Punjabi, yeah? Jupiter and I, in our opinions, think it was Ghost. Are you happy now? Twat.
A lot of people think it's Ghost, not just me.
Yeah, not just me, neither.
What I'm trying to say, get across to you, Esau, at this stage, if it was you, you might as well just fucking admit it because you've got nothing to lose.
The thing is, I can't see, you know.
You know, if it was me, I'd just say so, right?
Oh, I don't know.
With your past dealings with me, Jupiter, you know I'd just say so.
Yeah, Kermit, you're right. He is an adult, and he is responsible for everything that comes out of his mouth. And you know, I don't know. Maybe he'd already had a warning from his boss or something. I do think it was a bit harsh, as that was his first time that they sacked him. I don't know, but it is what it is, isn't it?
I mean, yeah.
Hey, Bleeding.
Hi, how are you? Good
I'm
afternoon.
good, hon. How are you?
I'm good. I was out in the garden trying to do some weeding, and I'm stung. I've been stung
Oh,
by
I've been out all
elements.
day.
Karma. Oh, have you? Where have you been?
Yeah,
Very hot here.
I went.
So you know who sent it to you, Bleeding. Why would they send it to you?
No, you know what happens? It isn't like Brian Hurl's email address is out there. So people send him stuff all of the time. And so basically, I would have received it from Brian, but I would not have received the entire thing. It was a copy of a response.
So you're saying you got sent it from Brian, and it's Brian who knows who it is?
No, I don't think he does know who it is because you have to understand that we get an awful lot of emails are sent to Brian's email address, and many of them are done with different names, made up names, and a made up account that day or whatever. They don't tend to send him any information with their real names. They actually don't. I mean, I could give you an example of Adam Smith pretending to be an account called Trolls Exposed, and sending Brian messages, and then it's like Adam Smith sent him. What's he send him? He said a newspaper fucking story about another Adam Smith, he claims, who was
Kermit, this isn't about sides. I'm not taking anybody's side. I just think that under the circumstances where there's been so much conjecture, if anybody does know the truth, they should just fucking say it at this point.
Yeah, Kermit, I love Mean too.
That's not what I'm saying. It's not about picking sides, because there's too much complexities to.
A racist lost his job. So what? He shouldn't have been racist at work. You know how bad it is? Thomas, your friend, should even said to him, Leighton, don't. You're at work. Come on, man. They're going to get reported for this. Stop it. He just laughed. That's all he did.
Yeah, that's your opinion. I don't think he should have lost his job. I think he should. If I'd have been in charge, I would have given him a verbal warning.
Yeah, I
verbal
would have given
warning for
verbal warning.
racialized language. You
Yeah,
crazy?
I would have given.
Would
I
you be
would have given.
if that
Yeah, I
ever
would have.
got out there? You'd be happy with that? That
I
someone
would
got
have.
a
Yeah,
verbal warning
yeah.
for
I would
racialized
have. Yeah,
language?
and I would have
You
stood my
wouldn't,
ground
Dreeper.
on
You
that.
wouldn't.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
wouldn't.
yeah, yeah. Yes,
You
and
wouldn't.
I would have stood my ground on it as well.
No, no, you wouldn't.
Because everybody
Jupiter,
deserves at least one mistake. If it's repeated, it's repetitive behaviour. That's different. Yeah, I believe in people learning by their mistakes. Yes, I do. Yeah.
yeah,
But you see, that's the point. What you just said there is part of the point. Is like, what do we know? How do we know he was getting on in the job? How do we know he was getting on with other staff? Was he
yeah.
being racist in conversations with other staff members? Was he doing or saying things that other people felt ill at ease with? You know, was it the
Yeah.
icing on the cake?
I totally agree, Bleeding. Actually, I said that earlier. I said maybe he's already on a warning, and that was why they sacked him on the spot. We don't know, Dukes, do we?
Yeah,
We
true.
don't
Yeah.
know what's happened.
But don't you think that? Look, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not comfortable with the shit that's happening to Taffy. I'm not. Whether you like him or not, I'm not comfortable with it.
Mhm.
I don't like his picture.
I'm not uncomfortable with something happening to Bleeding Heart, but hey,
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that either. And I do speak about that as well. In case you haven't noticed, Esau, I stood up to a lot of people to make that point. In case you haven't noticed, the very fact that I sit here and talk to Bleeding Heart and say that I like her tells you that. So it's not about whatism. It's not about Bleeding Heart versus Taffy. It's about the fact that Bleeding Heart got used because they couldn't get to you, and people went for Taffy because they couldn't go for other people. And I'm sick of the innocent people, the ones in the fucking middle, being the fucking scapegoats for the bastards, to be quite honest.
So is that how you see Taffy? That Taffy's innocent?
Look, not on his not on the racial thing. That's debatable. But I think the whole targeting of Taffy to the level that it's gone to, yes. I don't think he was targeted for himself. Not when it started, no.
The only thing I can say to you, Jeeps, is I'm not being funny, but you do have to look at some of his actions. You do.
I agree.
He's
I
not.
agree.
He's. Do you know what
agree.
I mean?
But what did he do? What did he do then? Explain to me what he done for people to threaten to cut his kids' fingers off, and explain to me what
When
he had
did that
done.
happen?
That happened on Reels. This is when all that
Right,
started.
okay. Fucking hell!
Yeah, that was something to do with Brian, wasn't it? It wasn't.
Yeah, but why? Why? And I also want to understand.
I don't know why.
Why people sent the police to his house and tried to get him to stop seeing his daughter. Why did people do that to him as well? I weren't on that stream, so I need to understand.
Okay.
Because that's when it started for him.
Okay,
and it's still going on now. And I don't agree with targeted abuse. I don't agree with it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't even like the targeted abuse for
Okay,
Dan.
and I'm gonna.
And Dan's done
Taffy
a
put his
lot
own
of
address
shit.
out there and did that to himself.
Doesn't make it right,
Right.
Esau.
But
that's got
Who
nothing to do
whose
with us. That's
address
his
out?
fault.
yeah, that was somebody else called the police. I just remember he was screaming and shouting, and his daughter was in the house with him. She was over there staying overnight
Yeah,
with him.
wasn't she pissed out?
And
Wasn't he pissed out of his head?
Yeah, and he was shouting and raising his voice. I mean, whoever did make the call, I think it was done for concern for the safety of the child.
How do we know it wasn't one of his neighbours? If he was screaming and shouting, they would have known he had his daughter there because they would have seen her. How do you know what I mean? How do you know?
Probably was neighbours. He's going, it's Esau!
The police told him they received a report because he was online.
His neighbours know he's online
That
by now.
still
His neighbours
doesn't
see
say that it was.
Drooper. Sorry, let me land you guys. His neighbours see him regularly in his garden with his phone talking to it. They know he's online.
And to be honest, Jukes,
Moon
I know
is in
you're
the back.
not going to like this,
No,
yeah.
because
but I
Babs,
don't care, yeah.
I know
Taffy has threatened to rape not just one man, but two men, and we've proved that in the week. So I'm sorry, you know.
That would get him hated fast.
Yeah, but
What
so
was
was
that?
Dan. Yeah, but Dan's threatened rape. It was Dan's threatened rape, but you all sit with him.
I
But
don't fucking sit with
we all
Dan.
tell Dan not to talk like that.
You see, my problem here is right that
I
I
don't
don't like
fucking
the
sit with
targeted
Dan.
abuse
I
of
called Dan out today.
even though Dan's done a lot of shitty stuff. I don't like the targeted abuse of him, but I don't agree with targeted abuse to Taffy, even if he's done shitty stuff.
I never want to hear Dan threaten to rape somebody, but I know he said it because he said it to Moon. He apologised, but I've never heard Dan say that. I'm being honest.
Not just Moon.
I don't
Not
follow
just
Dan
Moon.
round.
Not just Moon. There's another recording of him saying, "I will rape you and your fucking daughter," and the daughter was young.
Who? Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Dan's
yeah.
fucking said it loads of times. I've heard him say it.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a cunt.
Luke threatened to rape our mum and brother.
But I don't sit with him, Dupes.
Yeah, so my point is this. If you're offended by people screaming out rape, I'm going to rape you, which you should be. You should be. But when you come onto these panels, unfortunately, everybody seems to have these different rules. Yeah? If you're offended by it, then you're offended by it right across the board. Then I can say, well, yeah, you're offended by it right across the board.
Dan, I'm never talking to you again. Fuck off. There you go. Now I've called it out completely. Every rapist has been brought up.
Yeah, Dan, you ain't coming back on your latest episodes.
What? Did anybody see his live stream this morning?
That's what I'm saying. You can fuck right off. You can fuck right off. There's something
Honestly,
not quite right
I've
going
told
on at
him
the moment.
he is fucking ridiculous.
Ooh, I didn't see it at all.
Because
What's
of
going
some
on,
fucking
man? Who's live
program.
stream? What are we talking about now?
Because of some program that he's working, that he's watching, he did a live stream this morning, and he's like, "Oh, you lot don't realise how much power I have. I have got so much fucking power. It's equal to Dan."
Dan Moon.
Why are you listening? Why is anyone
Yeah,
listening?
yeah.
Now,
you've got
I'm
a
just
fair.
going to say, right, it's no offence to Dan or anybody else. I am no longer going to encourage Dan to come on panels and get angry with people, make threats. Now, he's done it a few nights. I'm not going to be here when he's doing that because then it looks like I'm encouraging it. Anybody making threats.
Listen,
Anybody.
but I said that the first place, didn't I? And then I felt guilty and I've let him back. So
And that's happened a few times.
Yeah. So Dan, don't keep coming begging. There's something has come like what I think of, and with your video, sorry, stay away. It's a no fucking brainer because you're just causing more aggro. What we're supposed to with your fantasies.
Yeah, but it's not all about us, Easy. It's about Dan's well-being as well. I know he says he doesn't care if people come to his house, blah, blah, blah. But if anybody ever did, like the threats that he gets... No, Babs, it's not about that. The threats that he gets to burn him out and all this shit, right, that they say to him. And if anything ever happens and he does get fucking killed, it's all being encouraged on here.
Yeah, but this is my point, Moon. You see, my threshold is not words. My threshold is when they go into your real world.
Yes.
You see,
like they
Simon
have
Lord
done.
sits there and makes out that it's all about the fact that he was racial to Hector. Yeah, that was disgusting, but it's only words. The reason that Simon Lord got reported off of me is because he incited violence, he made threats to violence, yeah, and he also went into my real world, into my fucking family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Chris
that's
go
what
the
they've
same.
done to
Went
Dan
into the
for
real
10
world.
years. But
Me,
10
the threshold
fucking
is the real
years.
world. Now, Dan's suffering in the real world. So is Taffy. We're not talking about words here. Tell me where Esau's suffering in the real world, please.
He threatened to rape me while also suffering.
Shut up. No, Esau, you're not suffering in the real world. Bleeding Heart is. I can back her up and say, yeah, in the real world, she's suffered.
I have had
You're not,
emails.
Esau. Show me where Cam's suffering. Hold on. Show me where
Yeah,
Cam's suffering in the real world. She's
Yeah, not at all.
She's not. Cam's not suffering in the real world. Esau's not suffering in the real world. Real world is my marker. That's my line. I can sit here and I can agree with some people on our disgusting what things that have been said by A, and I can say it about B, and I can say it about C, and we can all fucking talk about that, and we can all have our fucking little biases because of friendships and stuff like that. But there is no excuse when it comes to the real world. That's my marker. And this is what I'm saying. The targeting of Taffy needs to stop. It needs to stop. You can't sit here calling out that you don't like the targeting of Dan because it's going into the real world and then do it to Taffy. I don't agree with it.
How did we get back onto Taffy as well? Because we were meant to be discussing the Tommy thing we just spent 2 hours watching.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can see what that's going to turn into.
Because Esau turned up, so I asked him the question because I saw last night that Bleeding Heart admitted late last night. And don't get me wrong, Taffy, I don't agree with the way you were screaming and shouting as well the other day at Babs or Bleeding Heart. Don't agree with that. I don't think all these men screaming like fucking lunatics at women solves any problems at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fast getting to the end of my tether with it all, Moon. I really am.
I know, me as well, Jupes. Me as well. And this is what I'm saying. I am not saying to anybody who they can and can't have easy. Don't stop Dan coming on because of me. I do not want you to do that.
But you know what
I don't
happened?
want anyone to do that.
Exactly. We'll just leave. I will just leave when I don't feel comfortable.
I don't want to keep encouraging him into an environment which is getting him trolled. And then he loses his temper. He starts making threats. And then everyone's tied into all that shit. It's got to stop somewhere. So I don't mind leaving. He wants to come and talk to people. He can come and talk to people. I'm just not going to be part of that. And I'm not going to make out that I believe ridiculous stories because do you know what? It makes me look and feel like a prick.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
Esau,
I got you, Moon. I got you.
Esau is smart because he hasn't been found. I'm not going to take that away from him. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm not going to fall out with Esau over this. I'm not going to fall out with Taffy over this either. When it comes to Dan, I've got my own personal preference that I just don't like a lot of the stuff that he's done and the fact that he fucking lied, right? It's one thing laughing
Well,
at
hang on, this is what I've said, and I got fucking ready to go.
one thing laughing at his fantasies, right? When he says, oh, you know, he's going to do this, he's going to do that and everything else. But when he's actually fucking lying to somebody and saying I've made statements in his favour when I haven't made no fucking statements, I'm not having that. Because he should understand the level of the fucking stuff that's going on to my family.
Yeah. But does Dan understand? That's what I think.
You know, when Taffy threatened to rape me, do you know how I felt? I felt like because I've read a lot of prison books here and a lot of like crime books. That's how men, they're told that when they're in their first night in prison. One guy in particular was told this, yeah, and it enraged him. I felt sick, like, when he said that. I was like, I can't believe my man would even say that. I wouldn't even think that. But forgive me if I don't feel anything for Leighton, like, nothing. I don't feel anything.
I don't expect you to like him. I don't expect you not to argue with him. But what I'm saying in all this targeting of his family and everything, if you've got these kids' pictures, get rid of it. Just get rid of it.
No, that's not me. That's Dogger.
Nobody has any.
Dogger and Luke.
I don't think they have though, Dukes. I honestly don't. Right, the other day, yeah, Taffy said he was going to show us evidence that Esau and Bleeding have got pictures of his kids, of his daughter, and whatever. I'm sorry if if I'm a bit dim, please correct me. But what he showed fuck all.
He showed Dogger and Luke's hard drive, what they've been screenshotting and sharing amongst themselves.
How does that prove that Esau and Bleeding's got his daughter's fucking pictures?
Now, what it proves is that Deborah's got them. That's what it proves.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
And
she has
kids with Dogler.
Dogler's got them. She's downloaded
It's
them
unreal.
and shared them with the nonce from Preston himself.
Yeah.
I bet Luke's uncle got him as well, but he was like, I'm not interested in that. It's a girl.
Esau.
The thing is, I get, Dukes, that I get, and you have the right to like Taffy. I get all that, yeah. But it's like I said to you earlier. He's not perfect, and he's done a lot wrong as well. So
yes, I'm
if
not
he
calling
gets-
him perfect. Look, Babs, I'm not saying that because I'm saying this, I agree with everything Taffy's done. I think the way he screams at you sometimes, the way he screams at Moon, the way he called us all fucking two-faced idiots the other day, I didn't appreciate that myself. Right?
Yeah.
But I just think you can see he's under duress. You can see that he's being used by that particular group and pushed forward. He can't see it. We know he thinks that he's not being manipulated, but I can see it. Everybody else can fucking see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, Jeeps, really, that's his problem. He's a grown ass man. He's not a child. He's not a young boy. He's not a young lad.
Well, if that's the case, then it's the same for Dan, then, isn't it?
I didn't turn around and say anything different.
Yes, but I think Dan does have. I think Dan
today.
I think Dan does have some mental health issues.
Yes.
Yeah, he does. And probably learning difficulties. Dan is actually calling me right now. Hold on. Back in a minute.
Right. So when
Just so we
people are
know, this is what he wants us to talk about him. Just keep that in mind.
when people go down and go and go and go, I mean, there's somebody else on here who's like it, and they actually, it's weird. It's like they can't live without their trolls. So even when they're not being trolled, they'll think, well, how comes I'm not being trolled? And then they'll talk about them. But there were threats coming up, and I've seen him go into that mode before, and I just don't want to be here when that's going on. But we were meant to be discussing Tommy thing, and now it's all about Dan and all about Taffy again. So what's the point? How are we meant to get our country into any sort of good place again in the world when it just gets interrupted with pathetic fucking Taffy Dan bullshit?
Yep.
That's why I fuck off, because it's pointless.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of agree with that a little bit. Heathen, did you want to say something?
Hi, Heathen.
I was going to say, like, something. First of all, on a lighter note, I like the way you've gone from doing your points in 1, 2s and 3s to ABCs.
Yeah, but I have to keep changing the trend because they haven't picked up on my new word yet.
Now Batty Boy will start doing it.
My new word even.
See, you drooper.
But yeah, the Tommy Robinson one, moody as fuck, weren't it?
Terrible.
Just one of the school was closed. He just closed the school. So we haven't got enough schools out there, and he can just close the school and just lay off all it. Where was the union? Where's the union?
They
Fighting for the
wiped it
teachers
out.
there. This is why
The
the
18
unions are all
grand.
involved. Said this
They all
before.
got
The unions
paid
are
off.
complicit in virtually everything that's going on in this political system now. The
They sold
unions.
their morals and
Oh.
their country out for 18 grand, even.
Yeah.
Well, that head teacher had been there for 20 years. And like he
20
said, he
years.
didn't turn around and get a chance to say goodbye, get a card, or anything. He was just gone. And that's wrong. I mean,
And then the other one was the
And
car
do you
outside his
and
house.
look at it this way. Look at it this way, right? That bloke, even though he's talking on, he spoke to Tommy Robinson, told the truth to Tommy Robinson, took 18 grand, yeah, to sell out his country, to turn a blind eye, and now he's in a position of trust, working in probation. What the fuck?
Yeah. I spotted
fuck?
that, Duke. Yeah.
oh, that head teacher. Yeah.
No, the
No,
no,
the other guy.
the Asian lad. The Asian lad. I don't even know what his job was in the
It's
school.
like a probation.
No, he now works in the probation office. I don't know
What is
whether
it
he
they
was a
call them
probation-
in school?
Urban, I never knew that. I never
What?
knew that. So
It's
Cam-
like a sort of
Cam
internal
threatened
school
Urban-
investigator, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there's more proof. There's more proof. Seriously, these people.
And all the teachers got laid off as well.
Yes.
I didn't appreciate the covert filming. I got the point of it, but I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't just show their faces in court. He didn't really need to put them on a documentary, in my opinion.
He
Anyway,
wasn't allowed to, I don't think.
I just don't know
Because-
whether he might
Oh,
have got their permission at the end of it and said, "Listen, I've filmed you covertly. I think you should clear me here on that."
He done that documentary 2 years. He made that documentary 2 years ago. You know that.
He was
Once he
told-
saw the proof this case. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
even, I will check it out. I'm sure because that's what I asked, what happened to the teachers and their statements they made. I'm sure somebody said that they were inadmissible in court.
Inadmissible?
Yeah, because they were filmed, I suppose, illegally or without
Oh, right.
permission.
Yeah. He didn't have their permission. But
Yeah.
Okay, it might have been inadmissible, but you still have to take that into account, surely. You know.
Well, no, because if the
No, they just ignore it all completely. Don't they? If it's inadmissible, they can't even reference it, Babs, or anything.
Yeah.
They can't. They're not meant to think of it when they're making the.
Yeah. It's basically made evidence that cannot or does not exist.
Yeah.
No one can hear it or see it, or I mean, it's absolutely. They made sure that their lawyers covered every single corner, but what they didn't think about, well, they did, was that when that was sent to America, they've got no jurisdiction over there or anywhere else. It went to, was it Denmark and Australia as well? It was sent out to. So, yeah, those lawyers can do fuck all about that. So what they did was they then threatened Tommy, well, if that ever gets out, you're going to face prison again. So that's what they're going to go for him again now.
Yeah.
Now that's out, they're going to try, but they've got to prove who leaked that. And Tommy would have made sure that it wasn't him. So
So
they're
I'm gonna
fucked.
have his fingers over it whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah. Because even if his wife sent it, they cannot touch him. And
Yeah.
then they cannot touch her. Because it was him that was threatened.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
her. Yeah.
It's him that the restrictions on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And this
all I
goes
know
back
is
to
I've
sort of
I've
our
lost all-
conversation yesterday, Moon, like where I was saying, like
Yeah.
I don't trust the police. Again, you've
Yeah.
seen.
Yep.
By the way, that's not. I'm not. It's not a happy thing for me to be able to say that. Do you get me? It
Yeah.
shouldn't be that way, but we just
No.
blatantly can't, can we? Because look at that car that was parked outside this house that they
Yeah.
checked, and it was an unregistered vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, look how
Yeah.
look even. I was going to say this before we got interrupted earlier. That all right, it might not be on the same scale as Tommy. I'm no way saying I'm on the same scale as Tommy, but all the stuff that's happened to me and Moon and other people, and we can't get no redress. Is it any wonder if Tommy Robinson can't get redress and he had an Osmond warning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they took
And
away
you know
his
at the
protection when he
end,
got that.
yeah, you know the writing at the end when it put up the conclusions to everything, and basically all the rape and death threats to his wife and children, no action ever taken. The vandalism to his parents, no action has still never been
Yeah.
taken.
No crime
So
report.
yeah, nothing.
No crime report. That's
Nope.
that's what he asked on the phone, and that's I think it was 3 times I heard that from the police. Oh, there's no
Yep.
crime report when I put that in. Oh well, that's
Yep.
just all right then. Sound
Exactly.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
There's
So
just
then
no
that's when
crime.
now you get how the scumbags like
They're getting away with it.
Mongsleys and Danny Jones hoaxes were able to sit there and say, no, none of that happens because there was no police report. Well,
Yeah.
there obviously fucking was.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
And
we
it
all know
got-
that it
just
happened.
It got lifted, didn't it? It got lifted.
You see, and the thing is, in the
Yes,
past,
and doctored.
in the past, Moon, there was room for people to go, well, you don't live up there, you never see it in real time, you don't know. But all that stuff to do with that fucking red-headed weirdo in the
Weirdo, yeah.
communities, in real time, I see what he was posting. In real time, I see the shit that he was doing.
And Stutchbury.
And yeah, and Stutchbury. And the lives that they were putting out.
Fucking die. I hate that man.
You know, when they were
Every
setting
bit of
lives and
shit.
saying at such and such time, we're going to be doing this and we're going to be going to Tommy's house. And then they did it. All those things actually happened. See it in real time.
Yeah, we're gonna mince your kids. They videoed it. We're gonna mince your kids. Mad. How the police don't look into they don't look into anything, do they? They don't look into the backgrounds of these people who are ex-smackheads that are turning up with pictures. It must be on social media because Tommy's not that much of an investigator that he can find a picture with a SWAT sticker on his head. Like, mad. I was watching it. There was a protest on someone. There was someone who I subscribed to anyway today on YouTube, and I think he's like, I haven't seen him before, so he mustn't have put a video up in ages, but I must have subscribed when he did. And he was getting called, you know, those Nazi off our street. And I've always thought, it sort of clicked today. He should join in with that. I don't understand why the sort of right wing sort of take effect. I would, if I'm ever a thing and they're screaming Nazi off, I'll sing it with you. Yeah, fuck Nazis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what we've got to start doing. You know what I mean? Because if you start going, whoa, look at, you know, then you look like you're taking that label, which we should be disowning straight away. Even if they're throwing it at you blatantly, start singing it with them. Yeah, Nazis off the street. Nazis off the street. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you start. That's how you work. The bureaucrat, the left's so bureaucratical. I don't know how, but I reckon you'd be able to turn it on itself. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Did everybody see the
Do you know what, Heath? And that's probably
protest
one of the
this
most
morning?
profound things I've heard all week. I'm actually taking that on board.
Yeah.
It's
It's true though, isn't it? Mm.
Did everybody see the protest at the pub against the drag queens this morning?
That's what I might have been on about. Was it called something like the Honoured Oak or something?
Yeah, the Oak,
Yeah.
Honor Oak Pub or something or other. Yeah.
That's the one. That's exactly what I was talking about, Babs. That's where he was.
Yeah. Simon Bean was down there. Phil Watkins was there. Brexit Brian was there. Nick Pledger was there. Alan Kerr was there. It was fucking loads of them live streaming.
But it goes on to Hillsborough. I'll bring up Hillsborough. Look at the forged documents that the police done by the seniors. Some of them wouldn't do it, and they prosecuted against the police, saying they tried to get us to change our statements and things like that. It's
all becoming too much now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Grenfell. Look at Grenfell.
After
they won't even
today,
tell you how many people died in Grenfell.
No faith at all in the justice system no more. It's sad to say that, but I haven't.
What was that about Grenfell?
To a certain degree, Dupes, in the whole sort of sorry, Babs. To a certain degree, in the whole sort of what's it called, civil service spectrum.
Babs.
You know, the NHS, what their higher ups have been covering up for years, God knows. The firemen. Yeah, Liverpool sent 3 fire engines the other day to Ukraine. Now every time it's election season, the fire brigade union are out saying how much the cuts are affecting them, and then they're just giving 3 fire engines away to Ukraine.
Oh my God!
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the whole sort of civil service, spectrum.
Yeah, fucking nonsense.
It's absolutely crazy. Don't get it.
That Grenfell Towers, like, they've always kept it. They've never changed the numbers that died, but I can guarantee that double that amount of people died in that fire, because there would have been a lot of people that weren't on record in that building that night.
Definitely.
That was terrible. That was one of the best things I ever heard. Grenfell.
Yeah.
Awful. So fucking distressing.
And that was done in the name of climate change, by the way. That was done in the name of climate change and green energy. They baked those people alive using stuff because they were trying to force a green agenda.
It was a Tory council who tried to save money by using cheap, what is it called, cladding or something? I don't know. The Tory council did that.
Well, it was also the wrong fire rating, and I think it's been proven now that it was that the fire rating was fabricated. So they sort of just lied about the rating of the burn time on the fire. It was multiple levels. The main level for me would be on the people who are producers.
And Sadiq Khan stopped the money going through for it to be all redone as well.
Yeah. And he's not Tory. I think that's what I think you need to catch up though, bleeding with politics, because for me, I don't think there's much difference between the left and the right that's in the established government anyway.
Yeah,
I think they're the same.
Yeah, they're all
the same. There is no left or right. There's left or right leaning people with their own morals and standards of what they'd like to see in the country, but there's nobody representing either side.
No,
they all are so morally corrupt. It is the people versus the fucking Gestapo at this stage.
Yes.
And the corporations. It's all the corporations. It's all the corporate companies. Money.
Would you not say
money and greed?
Yeah. But okay. So they're all pretty fucking much similar. But would you not say though about the Tory party that they don't understand working class people? Would you say they don't
want to understand working class people? They don't give a fuck about us. But not just Tories, all of them. None of them give a fuck about us.
None of them care about us. They're selling us out in our own country.
Yeah.
And it's not about hating people coming in. It's about the fact. Did you not see in that documentary? Did you not see it? A mother's getting threatened with rape and being burnt out. Her daughters, mixed race daughters, by the way. So, there is a politically correct angle if you wanted to fucking go down that route.
Exactly.
Yeah. Being threatened. Yeah. Being threatened with rape. 8 and 9 years old. She's being threatened with rape. They're putting bricks through her window. They're turning up in gangs. They're outside the house telling her we're going to come in and rape you.
Yeah.
threatening to burn her out, and then they remove her and want to put her next to a fucking brothel house in a 1-star
She
hotel.
should pay up then, I'm joking.
Meanwhile, the ex-ISIS fighters are coming across from France in a boat and being put up in 5-star hotels. What's going on?
Yeah.
Imagine your
Poor
dad
representation.
and all.
Recently came to light the Labour Party under Keir Starmer recently voted against tougher sentences for pedophiles. Can you
What?
believe that? Yeah, in the House of Commons.
What did you say about Keir Starmer?
Keir Starmer
I said
voted
recently,
against tougher
yeah.
sentences for paedophiles.
Recently, in the House of Commons, when the debate was put forward, the Labour Party, the whole of the Labour Party voted against it for tougher sentences for pedophiles. But people
Wow.
do not know this.
So did Theresa May. Yeah.
And Keir Starmer was the one who stopped Jimmy Savile being charged.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
No way. Oh, that time. What?
Yep.
Man, people, they don't know. Everybody's just sleeping.
Yeah, he was in charge of the CPS thingy, weren't he, with Jimmy
Yeah.
Savile and threw it out.
Yeah, that's when he got. Isn't that when he got his MBE or whatever he is? Yeah. Oh, it's bad over here, bleeding. It's bad over here now. The corruption literally is putting 2 fingers up to you now and laughing in your face. They're just carrying on and just laughing at you. You can't do nothing about it.
So,
I mean, they are the scourge. I mean, think of everything that has happened. Or so much is wrong with society because we have people like that in it. They are a fucking scourge, and they need to be given very heavy prison sentences.
so yes, in 2021, Labour will vote against new laws to increase jail terms for sex offenders.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd go as far as to call it
See?
treasonous.
Scumbags.
It is heathen.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier.
And treason is punishable with death. It's the only way we can get them. It's the only way we can start getting heads on pikes again. Is shouting treason. These are treasonous, guys.
Taking 18 grand and shit all over your country is absolutely fucking horrendous. 18 grand to basically allow people to break the law. It's insane.
Yeah, pervert the cause of justice, isn't it?
Justice, yes.
Which is at least a 5-year sentence, I think, if I'm right, because it's perjury, isn't it? It's the old perjury.
Perjury.
So, so if you're found guilty of that,
Holding
you
evidence.
get 5 years. But if you go along with it on the government's behalf, you get 18 grand.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, double standards or
And now,
what?
look, people need to go for the scumbags like Piers Morgan because he incited violence on that boy.
Yep.
So much so that Bailey took an overdose, tried to kill himself.
Didn't know that. Mad.
Yeah, he took an overdose.
Who's good at getting up a petition? Ain't there a way we can get a petition up and we all sign it? Put the video under the petition for people to watch.
Yeah. Good idea, actually.
Yeah, it's an idea.
A petition to get it into the what's it called? PCSE. What's it called?
Yeah, I
What
want
do
to
you
see
do on,
him
like,
in
Thursday
court. I want to see him in court and held accountable for inciting violence on a child.
On a child? He's
Because
a child, baby.
With no
Yes.
evidence of
Well, he
racism,
was at the
which is
time.
what the police said. Even if they did lose the crime report, they at least said that there was no racism involved.
Yeah.
We should call it hashtag prosecute peers.
Yes.
Yeah.
He called Bailey vermin, and basically you
Yep.
exterminate vermin. That's how it's being looked at. And the death threats, which he was shown, were absolute. Honestly.
Well,
It was
that's what people
heartbreaking.
got offended with Taffy over using the word vermin. So I don't think Esau should be arguing that.
Well, he was called over and over again, told, go and kill yourself, you're worthless, blah. So he did. He took an overdose. And that's down to scum like Piers Morgan. And I just don't get how these scumbags still live in their big houses and they've not had to pay Bailey a penny for what they've done to him. They destroyed a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Based on lies. Fucking lies. Fuming.
Yeah, and backed by the political arm of Islam.
Yes. Yes.
You can't sort of take that out of the equation when it was that mufti. I don't know what a mufti is. I'd love someone to tell me what a mufti is, because I've seen there's a fella called like Mufti Menk. You know, he's like a famous mufti. I don't know whether they're like some sort of scholar. But a mufti, I think they're the ones that, you know, when they go to war and they're all going, they've got all like pictures of people like in paintings and like I think that's like the mufti that's told them to go to war.
It's an Islamic legal authority who
There you
gives
go.
a formal legal opinion, a fatwa, in answer to an inquiry by a private individual or judge.
So they're a paid legal representative, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
On a
and
legal
he came
voice.
all that way.
Yeah.
And he the brother of the other scumbag?
Yeah.
He's the brother of the councillor that runs the council, yeah.
Where all
And
the
there was
grooming
another one that
was
got
going
found
on.
grooming. He chucked the name in.
That's right.
Mad.
Relative of theirs.
40 mosques.
how it all-
40 mosques in that
Yeah,
area.
in that
Mad.
area.
I wouldn't even know what 40 mosques looks like.
No.
We've got 2. One's an old,
Anyway, I've got to go.
an
I've
old
got to go
union
off
building.
somewhere, but it's been a good discussion. If you're still live later when I get back, I'll come.
All right, Jude.
All right,
Stop
Jude.
it.
See you
Have a
later,
good
hon.
time.
Big off, Jude.
Yeah, and you lot take care.
Yeah.
Right.
See you later,
Bye,
Hector.
chat. Bye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Nice one, Jude. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot. I've got to shoot. I'm going to a wedding in an hour. But
Have a
but
good
yeah,
time.
we've already got 2 mosques. We've actually got the first mosque in England, in Liverpool, and we've only still got 2 to this day. One, which is like, it actually looks like a mosque. It's been built to be a
Scouse
mosque.
weddings don't really have a start time, do they? It could start any time, right?
What? You've only
I
got
didn't hear what you
2
said,
mosques
but-
in the whole of Liverpool.
Yeah, 2 mosques.
We've got one.
Wow.
Oh no, tell a lie, Babs, tell a lie. They've just bought an old church in Anfield, and that's now a mosque.
When they getting married, at a trap
Wow.
house, yeah.
Right, guys. I don't know, Bleeding. Are you doing a live later?
When they getting married, a little put in trap house, yeah. That's what
Or
happened.
do you want me to do one still?
They're getting married at your Mars, lad.
No, it's needles are red.
Heathen, have
They're
a
getting married
lovely
at your mum's
time.
house.
Needles.
Enjoy yourself, Heathen. See you later.
Have fun.
See you later. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye. And
Yeah,
See you
good night.
later.
Or have a good night.
So, nice one.
Bleeding, are you going live tonight, or shall I?
I'm really happy to go live. If you're, yeah, I don't mind. I'm good
all right,
either way.
I'll see you
Well,
wherever
would
you
you want
are.
me to do one
We'll
or
go and
yes
get
or
some
no? Because
dinner.
I don't mind either. See you later, folks, Moon.
You're welcome.
See
Thanks.
you later,
Thanks.
Moon, hun.
It's been great. Hope
Do
we
you want
get
me
to
to
talk
set
a bit
one up
more
at
about
half
it as
8?
well.
Yeah. Do you want me to set one up at half 8 or something? Bleeding or you?
Look, I'm very easygoing. Whatever you feel
Was you
like doing.
planning to do one though? Was you planning to do one?
No, I didn't have a particular plan. But I mean, I'm happy to do one.
All right, let us know what you want to do or anything. Or I'll go live. I'm going to have something to eat. So,
Yeah. All right then.
Yeah, I'm eating at the moment.
all right. Thank you, guys.
I gotta
Thank you
make
for
something
tuning
to
in.
eat. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your support,
See you in a
Urban
couple of
One.
hours, guys.
Okay, then. Yeah, just let us know what you're doing, Bleeding, and all. If not, I'll set one up. All right. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.